the very oldest language on the face of this earth. Chico di Cabia Mapuni, Chineke, and son of the winner of Isala, Nina Goza Hansoya, Nana Jama, and Yana Farosi, Obanana, all the then saw no one Because you will make a difference with your source and you will not do it. But you know what? I would like you to believe that someone is because no, I am the solution, and the only way they can get to you is by kicking me out, which is not possible. I have come. Look what you do. After I am done with Nigeria, Biafra will be free and enjoy freedom. Biafra will know the importance of freedom and what happens in 5 years to come. Thank you. The very oldest language on the face of this earth. Chico di Cabia Mapuni, Chineke, and son of the winner of Isala, Nina Goza Hansoya, Nana Jama, and Yana Farosi, Obanana, all the then saw no one and you went out of his and you were not young. Because you will make a difference with your source and you were not young. You waiting But you know what? They would like you to believe that someone is the cause of it. No. I am the solution, and the only way they can get to you is by kicking me out, which is not. I have come. Look with you. After I am done with Nigeria, Biafra will be free and enjoy freedom. Biafra will know the importance of freedom and what happens in 5 years to come. Thank you.
So you keep on supporting evil in the zoo, the more your land will be taken from you. The more your daughters will be raped and abducted, the more your sons will be slaughtered in cold blood. And under one Nigeria, there is nothing you can do about it. Absolutely nothing. Because one idiot that they groomed will rise up and say to you, oh no, it's one Nigeria, there is crime everywhere. Haven't you heard about Zamfara? Haven't you heard about Katsina? There is crime everywhere. That is not the case. The crimes you have in the north, the insecurity you have in the north is as a direct consequence of their own action. They grouped them. Al-Qaeda in the Maghreb, ISIS in West Africa, Boko Haram, Fulani headsmen, bandits, all of them. Who brought them to Nigeria? It's Fulani. Fulani brought them into Nigeria. El-Rufai brought them in. Why said government brought them in? Are you people deaf and dumb and stupid? When you come out and you pretend, oh, we are one Nigeria, go and show somebody was asking, where is the boundary, where would the boundary of Biafra begin? And I asked the fool, where did the boundary of Nigeria begin? People from Niger come in and go as they like. Most of these idiots are from Niger. They are building a pipeline to Niger. They are building a railway line to Niger. They are building roads to Niger. Whereas where the money comes from, which is Biafra land, we don't have those infrastructure. No, we don't. But you're taking our money. You come to Zone, you come to Onadi, you come to Ebema, you come to Agulere, you come to Ebo, you take our resources, sell it, get the money, and now you're building a way to Niger, and you want me to be happy with you. Clap for your Nigeria. One Nigeria. I think you are insane. You come to my land, you take our oil, you take our gas, you take our bumper, you take everything, our VAT, our tax and pay. You are now building a road from Katsina to Niger. Airport. Refinery. You take oil from my land, you take it to Niger, you refine it, you bring it back to me as a refined petroleum. And you're telling me that country is viable. You're telling me that Nigeria should be supported. You are in one Nigeria. You are not going anywhere and you're dying every day. Because those that they appointed to speak for you, they gave them money so that they will come out, pages of the newspaper to give the world the giving impression that everything is okay. When things are go and see the contradictions in it. Nigeria is not working, we are marginalized, and then you come back to say Nigeria is one, you must stay in it together. Are you not foolish? These are the useless intellectuals that you have. On one hand, you say Nigeria is not working, you're marginalized, you are being discriminated against, you're suffering, they're killing you everywhere, and you come back to the same place and say Nigeria must be one. Had Nigerians gotten together to say they want to be part of this useless contraption, that's entirely their business. I mean, Democrats have subscribed to it. But have you asked yourself this question? Why is it that all those asking you to remain in one Nigeria has something to gain from Nigeria, or they have benefited in the past? Nothing more, nothing less. I saw the letter that Atiku Abubakar wrote to President Biden. In it, Atiku Abubakar said to come and help us fight terrorism, in order to ensure that there will be no regional destabilization. That is their game plan at the U.S. State Department for very many years, until we stepped in. They keep plotting out these lies. Once Nigeria breaks up, there will be destabilization in the entire region. I said that because you don't understand African history. Most of these people are not educated. When I say it, they say I'm insulting them. No, I'm not insulting them. Most of them are not educated. In Africa, we are tribal creatures in Africa. In Africa, we are tribal creatures in Africa. We always go back to our village where we are born, where our umbilical cord, how long, where it was buried. That's where we come from. That is why every Christmas, Easter, New Year festival, or August meeting, you see us migrating back to where we come from. And I keep saying these things to Africans, they don't understand it. They don't understand it. Everywhere in Africa during Christmas, if you like, be in South Africa, if you like, let it be in Kenya, you let it be in Rwanda, everybody from the capital goes to the village. If you go to Accra, the same thing happens. This past Christmas, if you like, go to Cotonou. We proceed. We are going to pray. As it is usual with us here on this platform, we pray because we are nothing without the Almighty. We are going to offer praise and adoration to Him as always, and I will, of course, should I say, unfailingly pray in the language of heaven. Some may misunderstand, some of them may try to misconstrue, but one thing is certain right now, in the presence of the Almighty God, Elohim, Adonai, El Shaddai in heaven, the angels are singing, worshiping, and praising the Most High with the very oldest language on the face of this very earth, the Igbo language. And that's how I'm going to pray. Ezi onye nwe anyị na Chineke nna nke pụrụ ime ihe niile, Chukwu okike abịa ma bụ onye anyị na-efe na-agọzi aha nsọ ya, onye ọbụla anyị ya na-achị, onye mmụọ na mmadụ na-erubere isi, onye ọbụla anyị ya bụ ọkaka ụbọchị ene ka anyị na-etuga eze ebube dị ngọzi, mmalite na ọgwụgwụ. Ndị gboo wee tuo oge ebighị ebi, onye nwe m, ụmụ gị wee gbakọọ n'ụwa niile iwe nara ozi ọma nke gị onwe gị n'ezi ha site n'ọnụ mmadụ dị ndụ nna nke ebere dị ngọzi. Anyị wee na-asị na onweghị ihe ọbụla nke anyị onwe anyị bụ n'ihi na ọ bụ anụkpa ahụ sọsọ ka mmadụ dị ndụ bụ. Ofu ụbọchị anyị ga-anwụ, maka na okwu nsọ gị na-adịrị ma ruo mgbe ebighị ebi. N'ihi na okwu gị niile ga-abịarịrị na mmezu, ọbịa mere Biafra ga-eji wee bịa na mgbe nke anyị. Anyị wee na-akpọkụ wee na-arịọ gị na-asị, lekwa ude nke anyị na-asụ n'akwa nke anyị na-ebe ka o metụta gị n'obi. Onye nwe m na Chineke nna nke igwe, biko dịka isi wee napụta ụmụ gị n'ọbụ n'Ijipt, kwetu wee wezuga ụmụ gị bụ ndị Biafra mgbe ekwensu bụ zuu nke mmadụ dị ndụ kere. Anyị wee na-aja gị mma, na-asị gị n'ime ọnọdụ anyị na anyị ga-ekele ha nsọ gị, wee nye gị nsọpụrụ n'ụtụ na ịja mma mgbe niile. N'ihi na anyị enweghị chi ọzọ ewezuga gị, anyị onwe anyị anaghị efe arụsị. Ọbịa mere iji wee na-agọzi nzọmụkwụ anyị niile. Ọbịa mere IPOB ji wee gbaa mgbọrọgwụ n'ụwa niile, anyị anaghị atụ egwu mmadụ dị ndụ. Anyị wee na-eto gị eze ebube dị ngọzi, sị gị biko gbatara anyị ọsọ enyemaka. Ọ bụ naanị gị bụ onye anyị na-efe nwaanyị akpụ isi ala nye, ka i wee napụta ndị gị n'ọbụ nke ekwensu. Anyị wee na-enye gị ofe na nsọpụrụ na ịja mma, na-asị lekwa ka ndị iro anyị niile ka kasisi wee baa ha ọnụ, ha wee daa hapụghị ikuni ọzọ. Obodo ekwensu bụ zu ala nwekwa n'iyi eze ebube dị ngọzi. Anyị onwe anyị bụ ụmụ gị wee na-akpọkọ ha nsọ gị, na-asị na enweghị chi ọzọ ewezuga gị. Anyị wee na-aja gị mma wee na-eto gị, na-asị onye kere ihe niile kere eke mana onwe onye kere, na n'otuto niile na nsọpụrụ niile na ịja mma niile site n'ebighị ebi, mara onye ebighị ka a na-arịọ gị. Ise ise ise. Having handed over our proceedings to heaven, we must therefore proceed unfailingly and very speedily to preach this very gospel that we have been mandated to preach this very day, because heaven and earth will bear us witness that they came in their time and the gospel of redemption was preached, and men were saved from their folly. This evening, I will start by calling upon Bishop Coker, or should I say, all the Catholics around the world, to please warn Bishop Coker to desist from making statements and comments that will annoy God Almighty in heaven. If he continues in the manner that we have deduced he is likely to follow, then I will place curse on him in public. I'm not saying this very lightly because he is a man that I have enormous regard and respect for. Bishop Coker, I respect him. I love him immensely. But he came up with some statements which are, should I say, unbecoming of a sensible, reasonable human being. Therefore, he must retrace his steps. We must also remind ourselves that a few days ago, I said something about those of them trying their damnedest best to try to keep Nigeria together, a zoological republic that should not exist in the first place. And this evening, I want to reinforce this very fact, that the curse that I placed upon United Kingdom, a people that I revere and I love very much, people that I hold their citizenship and have sworn allegiance to, and will continue to defend their interest, genuine interest, of course, because I am an Anglophile at heart. That very Britain today, it has not been up to 7 days that I made that statement live here on air. The leader of the Welsh people have come out to make a categorical statement that Britain no longer exists in their own thinking. This is what I want to guide the thinking of all our people. I want it to guide our understanding of what is happening in the zoo, and to understand also the spiritual dimension which we have chosen to pursue this very noble cause. According to Mark Drakeford, who is the leader of the Welsh people in the UK, and I quote, "The United Kingdom is over," he said. UK, as I told you a few days ago, that anybody who has a hand or who is trying to keep Nigeria together, their kingdom or their entity will disintegrate. These are the things that I want you to understand this very evening, that Nigeria has expired. The wrath of Almighty God is upon Nigeria. Look at Tinubu, for example, what the Yorubas are going through on his account. Look at how the Christian minorities in the north are being slaughtered and brutally massacred by the Janjaweed elements of the caliphate. Because the likes of Bishop Coker is there preaching unity that he knows doesn't exist. Because Britain is directly involved in trying to keep together what God Almighty has rendered asunder. That is the reason why Mark Drakeford has come out to say that United Kingdom is over. He's a very heavyweight politician in the UK, the leader of the Welsh people. He is the first minister of the Welsh people. Wales, of course, in the UK is a principality. And mind you, Prince Charles is supposed to be the Prince of Wales, or should I say, the titular head of the government of Wales people. But here we have Mark Drakeford saying it categorically that Britain is over. And I want Britain. If you continue to meddle in the affairs of Nigeria to the extent whereby you are presenting a stumbling block to the emancipation of the children of God, the children of light, United Kingdom will be decimated. Because you're very proud and very arrogant, because you think that you're Caucasian, you're white, you can do anything and get away with it. You may think that the disintegration of the UK has nothing to do with Biafra, but I can assure you categorically that it has. If you do not stop meddling in Nigeria, if you do not stop this, your, should I say, perverted, racist devotion to keeping people who shouldn't be one together in one monstrous entity called the Zoological Republic of Nigeria, believe you me, God Almighty in heaven will destroy Britain beyond recognition. And it started to happen already. It is happening already. I warned you and I told you. You may disregard the agitation for Biafra and tag it as nothing. Because you came, you saw, you conquered, and you colonized. But I'm warning you today, if you continue, the wrath of God will be upon you. As I warned the zoo many, many years ago, if you don't allow we Biafrans to go, that zoological republic called Nigeria will be a worse place than Somalia. And today it is happening. And if you have not applied for your Somalian visa, please try and do so. Should I say Somali visa? Try and do so as quickly as possible, because the zoo is on the path of destruction, and there is nothing man can do to reverse it. Mark today's date and what I'm telling you. Nigeria will be destroyed beyond human comprehension. So says the Lord of hosts. Anything I tell you here is gospel. Anything I open my mouth to tell you must come to pass, because Almighty determined that we should come. And we have come to preach this very gospel in truth and in every honesty. And I want Britain to understand this today. If you stand as an obstacle on the path of Biafra freedom, you will be destroyed. The same way that the late dead Buhari tried. Buhari tried to stop Biafra from coming. Today he's in a shallow grave in Saudi Arabia. Not only that, that kingdom he was trying to build is now shaking. That very kingdom, that very Fulani caliphate, the Fulani takeover of Nigeria is in tatters. Because we are here, or should I say, Chukwukikabiyama determined that we should come. And nothing, absolutely nothing is going to stop us from performing the will of the Almighty. Today, I can tell you categorically that in the United Kingdom, the First Minister of Wales, part and parcel of this United Kingdom that colonized, enslaved, subjugated, and still colonizing the zoo called Nigeria till today, a part of Britain have now said that they're going to divide. They will leave. Scotland will leave. Wales will leave. Northern Ireland will join the Irish Republic, and you only have the Little England at last. And when all these things are happening to them because of their pride and ego, they will not acknowledge that the work they did against the children of God in Biafra land is what is responsible for their demise as a once great nation or a once great people. They are also on the path of decline, and nothing can reverse it unless they stop meddling in the affairs of Biafra. The United Kingdom is over, and a new union should be crafted to reflect a voluntary association of four nations. In other words, Britain will no longer exist. You have England, you have Wales, you have Scotland, and you have Northern Ireland. The reason for that is because they meddled in the affairs of the children of God. As I told you earlier, Almighty God in heaven has a way of punishing his children. And we have been roundly punished, believe you me. If you have to be subjugated under the very cruel, barbaric rule of Fulani Janjaweedism, you will understand what we are talking about. As I'm speaking to you right now, most villages are under siege. There are killings and rapings, abductions and murder going on right across the length and breadth of the Zoological Republic. But they cannot understand what is happening to them. They know that the problem of insecurity in Nigeria is intractable for the simple reason that they have failed, should I say, to allow Biafra to go. The sooner they understand this or realize this, the better for everybody. But I'm not sure they will, because they are very stubborn. And as God hardened the heart of Pharaoh to fail, so are they also going to fail. And that is why those of them who are in Benue State, that is why the likes of Governor Autumn or the very young man who was mouthing his rubbish a day or two ago concerning the deployment of Eastern Security Network into Lower Benue is in for a very, very difficult and horrible experience of their lives. I must warn also Governor Autumn of Benue State. I am not laying claim to Benue State, the entirety of Benue State, not at all. What I'm making very clear to you is that there are Igbo people, Igbo communities, not traders, not migrants, not settlers, no. These are our traditional towns, communities, and villages wickedly gerrymandered into the north. That you have Igbo people today answering Igbo names, speaking Igbo language, who are answering to Northerners. An abomination before God Almighty in heaven. I will not allow it to continue. Those Igbo speaking parts of Benue State is part and parcel of Biafra. Part and parcel of the eastern region. And should anything happen to them, if you fail to control Fulani incursion into that very territory, then ESN will continue to do their work. And I have commended them earlier and allow me to do so again at this very moment. I commend the men and women, not just of our high command, but also of the Eastern Security Network that successfully pursued and apprehended a notorious Fulani bandit by the name Muhammad Isa. We have the videos. For those of them claiming he's an old man, they're all lying, and they know it very well. He is the leader of a gang of abductors, of rapists, and of murderers, tormenting our farming communities. But I'm glad to report this very evening, morning or night, depending on where you are, that that menace, that threat has been permanently put to bed. It will no longer happen. Should our people in Benue State be subjected to further attacks, I am also informing Governor Autumn of Benue State. I will make sure that ESN returns to that very area. Or should I say, come out of the bushes to confront whoever comes against the children of the Most High God, Elohim in heaven. This is a warning to all of you. For those of you that specialize in, should I say, in twisting the obvious, in turning truth into lies, I never claimed the whole of Benue State. You people carved Igbo people into Benue, which is unacceptable. We are in an era, not that of the old, compromised and discredited Ohaneze Ndiara Nandioshu. Not in that very era. No, we are not in that anymore. We are not in the era of compromised governors and the pocket of the Fulani Caliphate. No. We are now in the era of IPOB. And no inch of territory belonging to traditional, should I say, ethnicities making up Biafra will be surrendered to anybody, no. And in Benue State, we have taught them, while they were discussing that, don't come to Benue, we are already on the ground in Benue State, in Lower Benue. And we are not in Benue State that doesn't belong to us. We are in Igbo parts of Benue State, Igbo communities of Benue State. And we are there to defend them, and that is precisely what we are going to do, and nobody is going to discourage us otherwise. We are making it very clear today that the Eastern Security Network is on the ground. We are on the ground in Benue State, and in every part of Biafra land for that matter. We are in Cross River, we are in Akwa Ibom, we are in Bayelsa. Everywhere it is happening. Anywhere we confront Fulani headsmen, these terrorists, we will drive them away. Be rest assured, we are not going to rest one iota until our farmlands, our homes, and our forests are secure. What is happening in Yoruba land cannot happen in Biafra land. Nobody, no idiot can come from anywhere to claim any inch or parcel of Biafran forest. It is not doable. Instead, we all die there. That is why I am making this presentation live, at least for those of you who may be able to come over on Instagram, that I am on Instagram and I'm live. If you want to see a live video of this very broadcast, it is there. You can and should be able to see it. Anywhere in Biafra land we confront Fulani terrorists, we shall meet them head on. We know that they are part of the police and the army. Danjuma himself, General T.Y. Danjuma himself, testified before the British Parliament that the army of Nigeria and the police are colluding in the conquest of indigenous populations in Nigeria. And we are no exception to that very horrible and sinister conspiracy. The police we have in our land are terrorists in uniform. The army we have in Biafra land are basically terrorists. They are there to aid and to support Fulani Janjaweed advancement to the Atlantic Ocean. And we are there to stop them, and we are stopping them and will continue to stop them. A few days ago, as I said, we embedded our men and women of the Northern Command of Eastern Security Network. When we said Northern Command, people were confused. Biafra land is a nation. We have Northern Biafra, we have Central, we have the South, which is the coastal region, we have the East, and we have the West. When I talk about the Northern Command, I'm talking about the northern part of Biafra land, which incidentally starts from Benue State. So we are right to be there. If you don't want us to be in Benue State, quietly go back to Abuja and appeal to them. Tell them to release Igbo people in Benue and carve them back into Ebonyi State, where they should belong, or Enugu State, as the case may be. Therefore, anybody, one thing about Nigeria is that they tend to defend the aggressor. It is in the DNA in Nigeria to always support evil. That is why this very newspaper publication, I don't have a means of putting it here on Instagram where I am broadcasting live, where you can see my face and my facial expression, but it will be on my Facebook page. If you go there, you will see it. This publication was made on January 23 of 2021, this very year. It is a front page news by Vanguard. I want you to understand how an average Nigerian thinks, how they reason, why I think that Nigeria itself is a curse upon humanity. There on the front page, you will see, we will kill all policemen and take over Edo State. Fulani Janjaweed. Those they claim are foreigners. These people they told us are foreigners. They come from Mali, from Senegal, from Gambia, from heaven knows where, from Niger, from Chad, from Northern Cameroons. But they are in Nigeria, killing people. After killing us, they will not turn around and tell us to absorb them into our communities. That is why anybody, any Igwe, any PG, any greedy, avaricious fool, stupid enough to give any of our land to Fulani Janjaweed, you are finished. There was a man in Enugu that tried the same nonsense. Go and ask him where he is today. We take no prisoners. You see, the land of Biafra must be defended at all cost. At all cost. It is the land of God, given to his children for their eternal habitation. We may have failed in the past to recognize this very fact, but now that this generation has come, there is nothing anybody can do to stop us from restoring the kingdom of God upon the face of this very earth in the land of Biafra, without apologies to anybody. I understand that the Sarikin Fulani of Lagos went to see the U.S. ambassador to Nigeria in Lagos a few days ago. And according to the message, or should I say information coming out of the U.S. mission, they said is to foster cohabitation and unity, that diversity is strength. And I want to lay that particular nonsensical narrative to bed tonight before I continue any further. Anybody telling you about strength in diversity, that person is a liar and a deceiver. And the U.S. ambassador is a liar and a deceiver. One thing they don't teach we Africans is this. No country exists on a foundation of multiculturalism. There is nowhere in the world. Listen to me very carefully. All this nonsense, even the crap that Coca was coming up with, telling you about diversity is our strength and all that rubbish. Allow me to repeat, there is no country on this earth that survives on a foundation or a bedrock of multiculturalism. It doesn't exist. That is why multiculturalism in Africa is dead on arrival. It can never work. Because we are tribal beasts by nature. We are tribal by nature. That is why we travel from wherever we are during New Year's, during Christmas, during Easter, during New Year Festival to go back home where we come from. Because that is where we identify with. Now, let me ask the U.S. ambassador a very simple question. Is United States of America a multicultural society? U.S. that was created and built by Western Europeans. U.S. was created, should I say, created by God, of course. Built by Western Europeans. Mostly English people that was fed up with the way of life of the English monarchy. They went to America on Mary Rose. I want to ask the U.S. ambassador, I want to teach Africans what they don't know this evening. There is no country that functions on this multi-ethnic rubbish. Nowhere in the world. Not even the USA, that was created by people who are not indigenous to America. The owners of the soil of America are Native American Indians. That is a fact of life. God gave America to Western Europe to develop and gave them a special grace to be the beacon and the light and the conscience of the world. Because God knew that if he had left all these wonderful people in Europe, they would become contaminated. He removed them from Europe, sent them to America, built a wonderful nation as a shining light. and a beacon for the whole world to look up to. Even that America that was built from scratch by people who are not indigenous to the land is not multicultural. Why am I saying this? America was founded on the principles of Judeo-Christian, Greco-Roman, democratic value systems. I repeat, America is not multicultural. They accommodate other races and other nations. Yes, they can accommodate you. But where you're coming into, the bedrock, the foundation of America is based on Judeo-Christian principles, Greco-Roman political ideology, which is republicanism. America is not multicultural. America is Western Europe. The value systems of Western Europe, Judeo-Christian, Greco-Roman, Republican governance. Had America been a multicultural society, they would have space for Sharia. I'm now addressing the US ambassador to try to tell them to stop deceiving people. We are educated, we went to school for a reason. We are enlightened and we have our brain intact. There is no country on this earth that runs on this wishy-washy multiculturalism. It doesn't happen. What you have are established order and value systems upon which various cultures can now coexist. If you go to America, you coexist under the provisions of the United States Constitution. And the US Constitution is a Christian constitution, not Islam. America is not multicultural, but under that bedrock of liberty and egalitarianism, you allow other cultures to come in. But first of all, they must swear allegiance to or take an oath to uphold the Constitution of the USA. That is something that the US ambassador never told the Janjaweed that went to visit her. The same way that Nigeria cannot function as a viable entity. Wole Soyinka knows what I'm talking about. I'm even sure somebody who claims he's learned, as Bishop Coker is, understands what I'm talking about. No country on this earth. The value system of the state of Israel is based on Judaic principles. The value system of Russia is entirely theirs, it's based on theirs. It's the Russian way of doing things from times of the Tsar. If you go to Saudi Arabia, it is essentially a Sharia Islamic state. You can live there, no problem. You can build your churches if you want. I think they've not started to allow churches to be built. But it is never a multicultural society. Japan is not a multicultural society. China is not. They can accommodate you, but that doesn't mean they are This is the type of nonsense they feed Africans. And we fall for that very gimmick of multiculturalism. At the end of the day, you end up with a useless contraption like Nigeria. You don't have any value system that anybody anywhere can define. If I talk about the USA, I can talk about hamburger in the USA. We can talk about, what else do they have in the USA? Hamburger, you can talk about, what's it called? What are the traditional dishes? Apple pie and all the rest of it. You can say that these are American dishes. If you go to the UK, you can talk about maybe mashed potato and bangers and mash, which is sausage and mashed potato as their national meal. That's understandable. But I ask you, if you come to Nigeria, what is the national dish of Nigeria? Does a Fulani Janjaweed eat ofe egusi, where we come from? Does an Igbo man eat a wedu soup? The answer is no. So on what basis is all this so-called multicultural foundation going to be laid upon? On what? We are not one people. We may be black, we may be Africans, but we're not one people. Not even one religion. If Britain cannot stay in an EU that is entirely Christian, EU is entirely Christian. Britain left. Nigeria, you don't know if Nigeria is Christian or in fact is Islamic. So for me to accept the multiculturalism being preached by the US ambassador, I have to embrace Islam as my religion. That's what it means. And some of you get taken in by all this rubbish. And I feel sorry for you. Yeah, sometimes when I say this, I'm being very arrogant. If you are educated, you will understand that no nation is multicultural. They allow other cultures to come in. It doesn't mean they're multicultural. They have a viable space where multicultural ideas or identities can thrive. But the foundation has to be monolithic. it has to be one dominant value system and ideology. That's how it is all over the world. Don't let anybody fool you otherwise. That is the same reason why you have this anomaly. In a so-called republic, you have royal fathers in a republic. Because you are trying to shuffle multiculturalism. You are trying to marry the feudal system of the North, the monarchical system of the West, and the Republican system in the East, to marry them into one. And what you have is entirely rubbish, and that is why Nigeria can never work. Not now, not tomorrow, not ever. Competing value systems. Nobody wants their own value system to be subsumed under another person's value system. This is something that the US ambassador never told you. But here I am telling you today. Because if you come here, you become educated. If you come here, you become enlightened. If you come here, you stop being a zoo animal, you become a human being. That is why we are the largest and, of course, the most consistent broadcasting platform insofar as Africa is concerned, right across the world. Millions listen to us because they know we preach the truth, the whole truth and nothing but the truth. That is why this very day, because you are in one Nigeria, in multiculturalism, the army will come to Olo to defend Fulani Janjaweed living in our forests. We went to Olo to defend our people. They came, they arrested the clerics. Men of God, they arrested all of them. How many times have you heard that imams were being arrested in the north? Or that villages were being invaded in the north and imams being arrested? Only in Biafra land. And this is your multiculturalism. This is a place where you want all of us to stay, somehow to pretend that all is well when we know that it is not. In that same Nigeria is where Fulani headsmen openly boast about conquest. Benue State is one. That is why I feel sorry for the idiots talking rubbish from Benue. They came and they made the same bold claim on Edo State. And I quote, "We will kill all policemen and take over Edo State." Vanguard publication of January 23, 2021, this year. Only 2 months ago. Nothing happened to them. Only the Fulanis can lay claim to land that doesn't belong to them and nobody will say anything. When you try to respond, they come against you. And your average foolish Nigerian who cannot reason properly, they're not educated very well, I'm sorry to say, will side with the oppressor. It's only in Nigeria where the victim becomes the accused. You came into Olo, Hope Uzodinma tried to give you land in Olo, to build a Fulani settlement. And we said no to it. That's all. To talk about Olo crisis. And now they're trying to blame IPOB, they're trying to blame Eastern Security Network. But all of you are aware of the fact that Nigeria Army and Nigeria Police are essentially Fulani Janjaweed terrorists in uniform. The newspapers, all the articles, everywhere, the national discourse is replete with instances of Fulani being supplied by the military, as you're going to listen to later on. But nothing happens. When you try to fight back, you become the victim. And we are saying we are fed up of being victims. We can no longer be victims anymore. If you kill us, we will kill you. I'm saying it live on video, so you can share the video all over the world if you want. If you come to our land to kill us, we will kill you. As simple as that. It may take us some time, but eventually we'll overwhelm you. Well, in the end, we always win. As I warned them in Benue, we are in Benue. In all of our communities in Benue State, and we're not living there until we are certain that the lives and properties of our people there are firmly secured. Any day we learn to stop blaming the victims, this world will be a better place. I'm directing these very statements to the US ambassador, to the UK High Commissioner, to the EU presence in the zoo, and the UN as well.
For our freedom. I want you to understand that Nigeria impacted you, impacted your life, and today you branded with so many negative names to the point that you are scared of your own freedom because of the negative impact of Fulani government policies in your life. Only Biafra can solve this problem. That as Biafra using Nigeria passport, you are treated as a criminal or as a terrorist, while you are not one of them. Yet, your low self-esteem could not allow you to support Biafra. You are scared of what Biafra would be. You are scared of the lies and the propaganda that they manipulated you into. I want every one of you watching me today on this State of the Nation broadcast to think that the impact of tunnel vision focus on the negative and how this can make matters worse than they are. They create more stress. They create more stress, increase insecurity, and we end up engaging in behaviors that are ultimately disconnected from our values. Today, some of you have completely disconnected, even with your so low self-esteem and your insecurity on supporting Biafra. You have been disconnected from the value that made you who you are as a Biafran. Yes, a vicious circle. Nigeria has given all this as a failed state. What I'm telling you today is fact. We do not mince words. Nigeria has given all these things I've said as a failed state. This is the impact of Nigeria in your life. A failed state. Today, when the Fulani terrorists were attacking Abuja, all of you were running scatter. Some of you that build one bacha in Abuja, in the area where they attacked, you ran for your life. And the government were not there to help you. Because I want you to understand that no, the presence of Biafrans in that area are much. Just the way when they attacked church in Yoruba land, all of you were shouting, they have attacked Yoruba, they have attacked Yoruba church. Do you know the number of Biafrans that were casualties or victims in that church attack is higher than the number of Yorubas? Have you forgotten that almost all the people that were interviewed as a victim of that church attack were all Biafrans? Igbo-speaking Biafrans. Are you not aware? That is why we are now addressing every Biafran across Nigeria. A failed state without strong governance that plunged into disorder. Nigeria is an example of that. Violence and sponsoring terrorism against its own people and citizens. Nigeria, being a failed state, must end by 2023 because we have seen that failing state can quickly become a threat to international security, be it by exporting drugs or by becoming a safe haven for terrorists. Nigeria, as today, has become a safe haven for terrorists. It's a place where the capital of the country will be attacked, under heavy attack, and no resistance. It means that Nigeria has become a safe haven for terrorists. And that is a threat to America. It's a threat to the Western world. When one of the generals from the United States was making speech a few years ago that the terrorists are trying to create safe haven in Nigeria, and after that, they are going to attack America. Little did he know, with all their intelligence everywhere, that Nigeria has actually become a safe haven for terrorists. Up to the point that the president of the country has been threatened that he's going to be kidnapped. Up to the point that impeachment proceeding or motion were raised at the National Assembly, only for the Senate president, who is also a Fulani and part of the sponsor of this jihadis and this Fulanization, turned it down, up to the point that the opposition senators walked away from the National Assembly. The country is in chaos, failed state. And we have come to change the script. Those of them who thought they have something impact to make in the National Assembly, when they tell you Peter Obi should go and become president. I want to ask you today, how would Peter Obi impact and change Nigeria when the Senate president will become a Fulani and the people that are going to be at the National Assembly are bigger in number from the north, from the Fulani, than the people of the secular side? How will you change the system? For those of you who do not understand, I want you to know that the 12 states of northern Nigeria that are under Sharia law, they are all Muslim representative. No Christian will be voted to come to Abuja to represent those states that practice Sharia law. Are you aware of that? If you have any of that from the 12 northern states that practice Sharia law, if you have any Christian as a senator, come and show it to me. Now, we must end this in 2023.
Of heaven, the very oldest language on the face of this very earth.
Because I can say that from what I knew, it is just not ordinary.
Very wonderful. When my lawyers came to see me, I had a discussion with them about how I'm going to defend myself. I told them that
Welcome. Thank you for joining us on today's program. I appreciate everyone that has connected wherever you are connecting from. Please kindly like and share the video to all platforms, share to family and friends, share to everyone that is close to you so that we can pass this message to those who need to hear it. If the message resonates with you, share it so that others can get the message. Don't keep it to yourself. So wherever you are watching from, I appreciate you and I welcome you as you join this platform. Remember, in this platform, we do not come to this program here to instigate violence. We do not come here to preach hate. We don't come here to attack people or to attack individuals. We don't come here to attack any race or religion. The only thing we do is to continue to present Biafra to the world as the only remedy to the failed state Nigeria. All we are asking is live and let's live. What we are saying that the indigenous people in the contraption called Nigeria should be allowed to make decisions for themselves. They should be allowed to make a choice what they want. That is all we are asking for. The people have the right to choose what they want. And until that is done, we will continue to talk, we will continue to speak, we will continue to preach, and we will continue to demand that which is ours. No matter the attacks we are getting from all angles, from all corners, no matter the obstacles and hindrances we are facing from those who think that they can manipulate us or control us, the attacks we are getting even from our fellow agitators, that will not deter us from doing what we have to do. So wherever you are watching this program from, I urge you in the name of Chukwu Okike Abiama to please continue to do your own part. Sometimes you will see a reason to stop. Sometimes people will give you a reason to stop the pursuit of Biafra. Every one of us, at one point in time, you look at yourself and say, does it really want it? The stress, the attack, the insult and hatred, does it really want it? When you look around and look left, you also remember that we have no choice. That is the only choice that we have. I wish we had another choice. If we had another choice, I wouldn't be wasting my time coming here every blessed day, twice every day. I won't be wasting my time coming. I will spend that time in something meaningful. Those of you who live in Europe know how much that is being paid per hour. You know how much you earn per hour in your job. No matter how bad the job is, you know how much you earn per hour. So if not that it has become very necessary and compulsory, it's something that concerns my future and the future of my own generation, I would have stopped. But for the fact that there is no choice, that we must do it to liberate ourselves, I will continue to do my own part. It is also your own duty to do your own part. Every single one of us has a responsibility. So do yours, I do mine. At the end of the day, everything is in the hand of Chukwu Okike Abiama to decide how it's going to turn out. Mazin Nnamdi Kanu made it clear that Biafra will come in such a way that no human being will take glory. In as much as we have to put our effort, in as much as we have to devote our time, yet it is in the hand of Chukwu Okike Abiama to make it happen. Biafra is not going to come just because of your noise making, just because of your claims, just because of what you do. It is going to come because it is a divine project of Chukwu Okike Abiama, and he must accomplish his project. That is the greatest joy of it all. That is the greatest joy of it all. And that is why we will never give up. Even when we see reasons to withdraw, like other people have withdrawn. There are so many people who cannot face the challenge, they couldn't face the insult, they couldn't face the abuse, they couldn't face the enmity, and they withdrew. And when you speak to them, they have reasons. I have many people that call me, I talk to them privately. And when they give you reasons that made them to stop, to an extent, it is genuine, but does not stop the problem. That will not solve the problem. If all of us walks out and say, oh, because of the insults that they come in, because of the hatred and unnecessary attacks, that will not be there again. If all of us walk out like that, then we are doomed. But we are not going to give up. We will continue to do what we have to do, no matter how hard it is, until our voice is heard. So today we have come once again, as we always do. Remember, this is a platform for public opinion. You are entitled to your opinion. Whatever be your own opinion, if you have a superior argument you want to iron out with us, feel free. All you need to do is to send a request. I will bring you in and you make your argument. At the end of the day, it is in the hand of the Biafrans to decide what they want. I cannot force anybody against their will to do what they do not want to do. The most important thing we do here is to open up discussion, broaden argument, reason from both sides of the divide, and then be able to take a decision that we can defend and stand by. Because there is always a consequence for every decision you make in life. More especially in the course of the freedom of Biafra, whatever decision you make, there is a consequence. So you must have to be able to digest properly what decision you are taking so that you can stand firm to face the consequence of your decisions. So I appreciate everyone that have patiently waited and joined us. Each day when I start my program, I play the messages of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu and the message of Mazi Simon Ekpa for a reason. These are people that have put their life on the line for us. They have sacrificed everything necessary to be sacrificed. And today, even at the risk of their life, they are still standing firm and sacrificing. And we must not allow their legacy to die. We must not allow their voice to be silenced. That is why I devote almost 1 hour for them before I do my program. Even if I come here and allow Mazi Nnamdi Kanu alone to speak, and Mazi Simon Ekpa, it goes a long way. Because there are so many people today who have half information of Mazi Simon Ekpa, have half information of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, and that is why they are acting the way they are acting. You know, our enemies are very good in cutting out the part of the message that favors them. They will cut out messages that they are going to use for their propaganda, and they push it out. And those who were not privileged to listen to Mazi Nnamdi Kanu in whole, those who are not privileged to listen to the full message of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu and understand under which circumstances he made every comment that he made, they can make a wrong choice. Those who did not understand the message of Mazi Simon Ekpa or listen to him and know actually what he's pursuing, equally misunderstood him and they quote him wrongly. Up to today, I still see some people who come online and begin to quote something that doesn't exist, more especially those that claim to be supporting the DOS. It is sad that even at this point in time, they are still bent on spilling lies. You see a program, somebody will come and tell you that Mazi Simon Ekpa was never a member of IPOB. And they will be swearing to that. They will on their camera, they will pretend to be talking for Biafra. And these are political pressure group that was created by Nigerian government, which was one of the reasons Mazi Simon Ekpa walked away from them. And they will on camera and tell you that Mazi Simon Ekpa was never a member of IPOB. A lie from the pit of hell. Some of them claim to have met Mazi Nnamdi Kanu and asked Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. And they come and they speak this lie. That you and I know that Mazi Simon Ekpa was a member of IPOB. Conducted so many meetings, even online programs with Mazi Simon and Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. One of which they tried to stop Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, and he said no. Mazi Simon Ekpa himself told us how he even took an oath, even when he didn't want to. He never had a plan of taking an oath to be a member of IPOB. But at a stage, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu convinced him to do so. And he did. And some of these idiots that are peddling this lie, some claim to have met Mazen Nandekan, and I want them to come and say that Mazen Nandekan told them that Mazen Simoneba is not a member of IPOB. But that's by the way. We already know what is happening in the zoo. I only pity some of us that have a shallow mind. Some of us that do not have opportunity to digest information. Some of us who are not patient enough to listen carefully before they speak. They are the kind of people that they sway with their lies and propaganda. But as for those of us that have our own mind, that came into this struggle based on the conviction we have from our own heart. For anyone that have already defined Biafra for him or herself, nobody's going to come and direct you where to go, what to do, or what not to do. At this point in time, at this stage, every Biafran knows what to do and how to do it. In as much as our resources are limited, in whichever group you are, in whichever angle, whichever department you are, the resources are limited. You can't compare it to those who are being funded with our money. But the little resources we have, we utilize it to make sure we make impact. And by the special grace of God, many Biafrans are making a great impact. You can't throw us under the tower. You can't throw us under the cupboard. It's not possible. Biafra will continue to be in the front line until we are free. So today's topic, we are discussing about a topic that says, who engineered the hate? The resurrection of Igbo Spirit, Onye Aghana Nwanneya, is back. Who engineered the hate? That is a question. Who engineered the hate against the Igbo people? Who engineered the hate among the Biafrans and against the Biafrans? The resurrection of the Igbo Spirit, Onye Aghana Nwanneya, is back. So in this topic, we are going to follow it patiently. As I always say, wherever the topic hits you, don't get angry. All you need to do is to look at yourself and see if you're on the right path. If you're on the right path and your heart convinces you you're on the right path, continue. But if your spirit and soul continue to tell you that you are doing the wrong thing, change. Don't get angry. Most of the time, our messages here hurt people. Some of them, it hurts them because they hate the truth. Some it hurts them because you are not speaking the truth the way they want you to paint it as their own truth. You know, every group and every department and people have their own truth. And when you tell the truth the way they don't like, now they will tag you something else and they get angry. Some of them will not control themselves, they begin to insult. But that will not make us to change our message or change the way we present our issue. We'll continue to do it until we are free. One day, every one of us will give account of our still worship. And those who will be vindicated will be vindicated. Those who will be found guilty will be found guilty. So there's no point tearing yourself or fighting or insulting. Just hang on and wait. So I welcome everybody that have joined, all lovers of truth and believers of justice. Today we are speaking about the resurrection of Onye Aghana Nwanneya. Today we speak about the spirit that refuses to die. This is a spirit that refuses to die. No matter what they say about us, no matter their lies about us, no matter all their propaganda about us. The spirit refuses to die. Today we speak about Onye Aghana Nwanneya. Let no one abandon their brother. For those who don't understand Igbo, because we know that Biafrans have different dialects. There are many nations that make up Biafra, and they have different dialects. It's not only the Igbos. So when we speak about Onye Aghana Nwanneya, it simply means let no one abandon their brother. Let no one abandon their sister. That is the meaning of Onye Aghana Nwanneya. And that is the spirit of Biafra. Onye Aghana Nwanneya. Let no one abandon their brother, and let no one abandon their sister. They have tried to divide us. They tried to blackmail us. They tried to redefine us. They tried to silence us. But the spirit of the people cannot be erased with propaganda. The Igbo Biafrans Spirit is rising again. It is rising again. And today, we talk about how it all happened. It is very interesting that the spirit of Onye Aghana Nwanneya is rising. There are still wonderful people out there. That is why when I see, sometimes I see what some of us are doing, very few of us, maybe because of their popularity, maybe because they are outspoken, maybe because they are in the front line, and because of their attitude, sometimes you make mistake of painting everybody the same. That's not true. There are still wonderful people out there who can never betray. There are still people there who care. There are still people there who are brave and bold. There are still people who are not cowards. There are still people who have that spirit of Onye Aghana Nwanneya no matter what. Let us begin with clarity. Onye Aghana Nwanneya is not a political slogan. Don't forget that. It is not a political slogan. It is a cultural covenant. Onye Aghana Nwanneya is a cultural covenant among the Igbo Biafrans. It is an Igbo moral philosophy. It means do not abandon your brother. Do not abandon your sister. Stand for one another. That is what Onye Aghana Nwanneya is. This principle built Igbo community for generations. Before colonial boundaries, before political parties, before modern Nigeria, the principle of Onye Aghana Nwanneya was what we used to build our community for generations. In traditional Igbo society, survival depends on unity. If you are an Igbo person, why I talk and mention Igbo, because they are the ones in the front line of this agitation, and the accusation is mainly on them. That is why. So if you are not of Igbo tribe, you are a Biafran, do not get offended when I speak and hammer on Igbos. It is because they are the ones on the front line. They are the ones that are mostly accused. So when I speak and mention them, they are the majority. So I know what I'm saying. And when I say they are the majority, it doesn't mean that you are a minority. There is no minority in Biafra. We are all majority in Biafra. But the numbers of the Igbos are larger. In traditional Igbo society, survival depends on unity. Survival depends on unity. That has been the foundation. If one farm fails, the community step in. That is how we survive. If one farmland fails, the community will step in. If one family struggled, the village responded. The entire village will respond and raise that family. If injustice occurs, elders will come together and intervene in that injustice. That is Onye Aghana Nwanneya. That has been the foundation of our culture. It is not aggression. It is not hate. It is not hate at all. It is solidarity. And solidarity is powerful. That is the foundation of our survival. That is why you saw the Maboy system that the whole world is talking about. Onye Aghana Nwanneya. And I thank Chukwu Okike that spirit is coming back. No matter the attack, forget about what you see on social media and all whatnot. Forget about, every one of you know what social media is. It's only what you want to see that people will show you. What people want to show you is what you're going to see. And so many things we see in the social media are just acting, movies. They're not real. The spirit of Onye Aghana Nwanneya is back. Division have always become the political tool that Nigeria have used. Division has always become a political tool that they use every blessed day, anytime, any day. Now let us speak honestly. Nigeria did not begin with unity. I say it over and over. Nigeria did not begin with unity. That is why sometimes when I see people who are talking of unity, go and unite Nigeria, we'll be united, we must do things together, we must unite. Unite what? What are you uniting? What are you uniting? You cannot establish any unity under that name, Nigeria. People must have to go back to whom they were. If they choose to come back, they can now come back. Now talk about unity. Not in Nigeria, not in that fake, forced unity that you are talking about. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. It began with forced amalgamation in 1914 under British colonial administration. Forced. Different nations, different cultures, different governance system bound together without collective consent. Nobody was consulted. They were forced to be together. Over time, political competition became ethnic competition. That is what it is up to today. Political competition become ethnic competition. We see it over. You can't beat it. That is the order of the day in Nigeria. Narratives formed. Distrust deepened. Policies were shaped not only by developed goals, but by power balancing, suspicion, and regional calculations. Every time, Igbo presidency, Yoruba presidency, Hausa presidency, that is all you hear. You can never see people talking deeply about a Nigerian president. Go and tell all the electorates, go and ask them, they have one motive or the other. You go in this election now, you ask people, this is the election that prepared. Some will tell you, oh, we want to be. It's about Igbo, we need an Igbo president. We need an Igbo president. They need an Igbo man to satisfy their evil agenda. Some will say they need a Yoruba man. Allow a Yoruba man to complete his term. Tinubu must be there. And the North is there preparing for their own time to fire. That is what is always doing. Any time, any day. And you can never build a nation in such kind of mentality. It's not possible. When people compete for political control in fragile system, division becomes a tool. The only tool that the politicians in Nigeria have used effectively and continue to use it tomorrow is division. Division, divide and rule. They continue. That was put in place by the British. You see, that is when we talk about ending Nigeria. If you want to end everything that is wrong with that entity, you must end that. Remove Nigeria completely. Except to do that, every other problem you are trying to solve has its foundation in the name you are bearing, in that entity called Nigeria. As long as you are still managing and patching it, nothing is going to work. You cut out cancer, you don't treat it, you cut it out. If you want to survive of cancer, cut it out. It is time to cut out the zoological republic called Nigeria. Everybody must go their separate ways. When people compete for political control, in fragile system, division becomes a tool. Divide regions, divide tribes, divide narrative. That is what we see. Every day, every election, anytime, any day, in all discussions in Zoological Republic, they divide the regions as they were taught by the colonial master. They divide tribes. They divide narrative. You see how they divided, or more especially, the Igbo Biafrans are the most populated tribe in Africa, if not in the world. The most populated tribe in Africa, if not in the world, the Igbo tribe. In Nigeria, they are the highest. But Nigeria is so scared about their population, that they continue to divide them into pieces. That you see an Igbo man with Igbo name, with Igbo culture, telling you that I'm not Igbo. The Igbo people are in 13 states in the Zoological Republic, but they will come and tell you that they are 5 states. Just to score political points, not because it is the truth. And they will continue to do that. If you think they are going to stop tomorrow, you are deceiving yourself. They will never stop. They will never stop. Every single day, they continue to divide you to score a political point. That is why even the late Muhammad Buhari was bold to tell you that you are just a dot in the circle. Every time you hear creation of states in that Zoological Republic, it is not for development, it is for division, to divide the people for easy conquering. That is why when they are talking about the creation of new state and Anioma state, it is right to have a state like that. But under Nigeria, the motive behind the creation of state is not for development. Those who are projecting that agenda or pursuing it are pursuing it for their own selfish interest. While the ordinary people in the street know that it is the right thing to do. And they are southeast. They know that they are southeast. But each time state is created in Nigeria, there is always an ulterior motive to divide and distance us from each other. There was more unity and peace when we had only Anambra and Imo State. And that was enough for us. Only Anambra and Imo State. Anambra and Imo were there. And they were doing very well. Excellently well. There was love among all of us. But when they began to create many, many states, division came. And Anambra man began to see an Enugu man that was with him before, that he knows is part of him. He began to see him as a stranger. Enugu man will begin to see as a Ebonyi person as a stranger. The same thing is happening in Imo State. An Abia man will be seen an Imo man as somebody who is from another planet. They go to the extent of even creating state to take somebody from Igbo extraction and make him a northerner. Abomination of the highest order. Did you believe that they carved an Igbo man to be a northerner? And by the way, all these things are political. The people they call northern are not even to the. I forgot to get that video. There was a video I saw where they were speaking openly, people of the Middle Belt, and say they are not northerners. They are Middle Belt. That they are not northerners. They have nothing to do with the North. They are entirely different people. But for political reasons, just as the British taught the Janjaweed, they continue to carry all of them as northerners to score the points, to increase their number. And when they come, they brag and tell you that they have a number, that the North have the number. Where is that North? Where is that North? The only people that had the number to make things happen is the Igbos. In case you do not know. And that is why they are bent on causing division among us. That is why they are bent on keeping us in chaos. The only tribe that has the number to make things happen is the Igbos. It is not just because I'm saying it, they say it by themselves in their own analysis in the Zoom. You will see it, people say it in their own national TV, that in every place you go, you must see an Igbo man. That after the indigenous people, the next highest tribe, number of people you see is Igbo. Then how then do they not become minority? How? How then, when it comes to politics, they are minority? When it comes to governance, they are minority. But you know that any place you go, they are the majority. After the indigenous people, they are the next highest population. In the entire nation, I didn't say it, they say it in their own platforms. But yet, when it comes to politics, they put us under the carpet. Divide and conquer. Don't allow anybody to make you look small. That is why when we are speaking about our freedom, unapologetically, we are not asking for Biafra to dehumanize anybody, to attack anybody. We are seeking for our own rights. Self-determination is a right enshrined by the human rights, international law. International law permits that we have the right to acquire self-determination. But when we speak about this self-determination, they get angry. I don't know why people get angry. You don't want to fight for your own freedom. Allow those who want to fight for their freedom to fight and get their freedom. When they hear Biafra, they get agitated. They get uncomfortable. Once they hear the name Biafra, there are some of us a Fulefu also. Some of us a Fulefu. When you are discussing with them, you mention Biafra, they get uncomfortable. I don't know why. You will see some Igbo people, when you discuss with them and talk about it, they get uncomfortable. Because they want to look good to somebody who hates them. You want to deny yourself for people to love you. Are you not a fool? You are insane. The moment you begin to deny your identity, that is your end. Some of us have been beaten into fear that we don't even know that we are the highest population in Nigeria. The Igbos are the ones that have the number to choose and decide what happens in Nigeria. Take it to the bank. Every single statistic shows that the Igbos are the ones that had the number to change things and thoughts around. And that is why they fight us politically. That is why they have made sure that you don't have any political relevance in the Solid Republic by dividing you, by creating states that doesn't exist, creating figures and numbers that doesn't exist, by making your region small, that they carve Igbo people out from where they're supposed to be. We are in 13 states in that contraction called Nigeria. 13 states. Go and verify myself. I am not talking about people that visit indigenous Igbos in 13 states. You know, when we continue to say this thing, people will think that what you need to do is that after you hear it from us, no need to argue. And we are not saying it to look down on any other people. We are just saying whom we are. I don't know why you're angry about that. When I say that my tribe is the highest population in that contraption, I am not telling you not to talk about yours. If you say that yours is the highest, you give a proof. I have given my own proof that the Igbo tribe is the highest population in the sense that in any place you go, I didn't say it, even they themselves confess it, that you will see an Igbo man. And in every city or town you go, where did I say that? After the indigenous people, the next highest population you see there are the Igbos. So if Igbos have the second highest population in every state in Nigeria, if Igbos have the second highest population in every state in Nigeria, then calculate all those second highest and bring them back to their home, where they are also the highest. How do they now appear not to have the number to make decisions? Why is it that they're not politically relevant? Why are they relegated to the background? Nigeria intentionally structured a system that made us minority. You see why no sensible person will participate in anything called Nigerian politics. Because the more you get engaged with Nigerian politics, the more they make you small. We have to first of all realize who we are. This Obi that is jumping from pillar to pole, if Obi was able to realize that his tribe is the highest populated tribe in Nigeria, nobody will compete with him. He's going to have his seat. But first of all, they have made Obi to believe that the Northerners will make him a president. They made Obi to reject his own people. That is why Obi can fight for president for a donkey years and he will never win. He will never win. Because first of all, he doesn't recognize who he is. He came and said that Biafra is dead. Biafra is not dead and can never die. Even every one of us that is living today talking about Biafra dies, Biafra is not going to die. He'll still be there, and someone else will come and continue from where we stopped. One of the reasons Obi can never be a president of Nigeria is that he himself has not realized that he has the number to be the president. He doesn't even believe it. And until he realizes that and align with his people, starts from his home, he's going nowhere. You think that going to Sokoto to go and tie taban in your head, or go to Sultan of Sokoto to go and drink Fura de Nono will make you a president of Nigeria? You are a joker. You are a joker. You see the game they are already playing on you. They first of all make you to reject whom you are. They make you feel small. They make you see yourself as minority, and you come to them and beg for something that you own. The same way they took away our wealth and make it theirs. All you have to do is that every month you go to Abuja and beg for peanut. Both our brothers in the riverine area and those in the mainland that call themselves Niger Delta, their own wealth, the wealth in Biafra, they took it away. They used it to develop Lagos, develop Abuja, take it to Kano, take it to Kaduna. And you go to Abuja every month to go and beg. And you see it as normal. When we talk about Biafra, you get angry. This Biafra said, why are you talking about Biafra? Sorry, I will talk about Biafra today, tomorrow, next tomorrow, and forever. If you don't want to hear it, you should prepare to get out of this planet Earth so that you can hear us. But as long as you remain in this planet Earth, you will continue to hear Biafra. Even now, you hear it more than ever because it's already here. It's already here. And the recognition is about to come. We are talking about Onye Aghana Nwanneya. That spirit is back. It doesn't matter what the enemies make us to believe. Don't you ever believe their lies and propaganda. Don't allow them to divide us in regions. Don't allow them to divide us in tribes. Don't allow them to divide us with their narrative. When people are divided, they are easy to control. And that is what we see in Nigeria. When people are divided, they are easy to control. Look at today. Tinubu have already keyed into that system, the system that the caliphate is using, the system that they were taught by the British. Dividing. They have now entered and divided the elites, those who call themselves elite, those who call themselves the money bag. They created the city boys. And those of them that like show and advertisement, you see, they come online, they show you things that are not real. They continue to act movie for you, creating hatred among us, creating division. making you see your brother as your enemy. This is something they have mastered for a very long time. While you are busy fighting each other, they are busy positioning themselves. Left from me, I will tell you to ignore any idiots. Let them continue to dance their music the way they want it. Ignore them. Don't even make it a topic. If at this time, any Igbo man that does not know at this time that Nigeria is not for him, and you are still going for election, you are still tying your belt, jumping around, carrying banner on who to vote, you are still knocking your head, having headache on who to vote or who to win election, you are an idiot. If you are an Igbo person, at this point in time in 2026, you are still busy thinking on who will be president or who will not be president, or who is supporting Mr. A or who's not going to be. You are still having headache because of that. You are an idiot. Nigeria is not for you. Will never be for you. Has never been for you. And until you realize that, you will just find out that you've been wasting your time all this while. The propaganda and blackmail against us has been there for a long time, and so much. But that will not stop us. The most painful thing is the propaganda and blackmail against us. When we demand fairness, autonomy, reform, they are often labeled something unfairly. Something broadly. Sometimes without distinctions. Just because we ask for fairness, anytime we open our mouth and we ask for fairness, we open our mouth and we ask for referendum. We ask for referendum. We ask for self-determination. Instead of listening to us, instead of calling for dialogue, what do? They label us as people who are causing chaos. Just because we are asking for self-determination, they say it's unfair. Why would we ask for self-determination? Even when they know our reasons are genuine. So many of them still confess and say our reasons are genuine, but we must not ask for self-determination. That's laughable. In political conflicts, innocent civilians often suffer reputational damage. That is what we suffer. When narratives are repeated long enough, when narratives are repeated over and over and over long enough, perception becomes truth in the public eyes. There are so many narratives that they are pushed out there against us, and there was nobody to challenge it. Today, people believe it to be truth. You know the damage the Igbo coup caused on us and continue to cause. You and I know the damage the Igbo coup caused on the Igbos. That narrative alone. The narrative that was pushed by the British. More than 5 million people lost their life and continue to lose their life till today. They push narrative and they say we are terrorists. We are troublemakers. And some people believe them. The same way they push narrative against Mazen Nandekano as a troublemaker, as a terrorist, simply because he was broadcasting and asking his people to defend themselves. He was exposing the enemy that is ravaging Nigeria today. They blackmailed him. They push the narrative that is terrorist. The same way they push narrative against Mazi Simon Ekpa. But the most painful thing that sometimes we, the Biafrans, help to push this narrative. Sometimes we, the Biafrans, we join them to push these narratives, which is very painful. You see some people today, they will on their camera and they will call their brother or their sister a terrorist. That is the height of stupidity. It doesn't matter how angry I am. I must not agree with you in everything. And let me tell you, being in the same group or having the same opinion, that is not the unity we are talking about. Unity does not mean that we must be in the same group, we must have the same opinion. That is not unity. And if you know the Republican nature of an Igbo man, you must know that there is never a time every one of us will have the same opinion. And there's never a time we'll be in the same group. But the purpose must always be one. The purpose must always be one, the survival of the people. Our freedom should always be the purpose. You are free to pursue it the way you want it. You are free to look at it the way you want. You are free to look at it the dimension that you want. Be sincere and do that. There's no law that says that we always be having the same opinion or the same group. That was why Mazen Nandekan made it open, and he said, anything you can do to make sure that Biafran people are free, do it. Anything that will make the gate of Biafra, do it. And he stands in that word. Even recently in detention, where he is in Sokoto, he still said he recognized every Biafran agitating group. Mazen Nan, they cannot recognize them. Every Biafran agitating group, every one of them, he recognized them. He never distanced himself from anyone and say, oh, this one, because you are from this angle, you are this village, or from no. Every one of them. And every one of them have different opinion and understanding about Biafra, but he recognized them. The same thing with Mazi Simon Ekpa. He recognizes everyone. He appreciates everyone. He doesn't attach himself to a particular group. These two leaders have never detached themselves from Biafra. It is only some group of corrupt people who decide to detach themselves from the family. When you decide to detach yourself from the family, it is up to you. But our leaders, Mazen Nandekan and Mazi Simon Ekpa, have always displayed the spirit of Onye Aghana Nwanneya. They have always shown that spirit of Onye Aghana Nwanneya. Don't judge people based on what. There are some people today that hate Mazi Simon Ekpa and Joko, the Prime Minister, simply because of what they saw, what they had, that people said. Or simply because somebody was pushing an agenda that they feel that this person is their brother or their sister or their group. And for that, whatever they tell you, you take it. There is so much immeasurable blackmail and propaganda was pushed against Mazi Simon Ekpa. Unfounded lies. But some of you chose to believe it simply because you feel that he's not the one to come and speak for you. Some are angry because of where he comes from. Why will he be somebody from Ebonyi State that will speak for us? Some will say, why will he be somebody from Enugu who will speak for us? This one will say, why will he be somebody from Anambra who will speak for us? Not because he's not qualified, or not because he's not doing the right thing, but because of his own personal interest. You see why it is essential that everybody should be allowed to operate on their own level. So long that your focus is on that freedom that we're talking about, at the end of the day, every one of us will be free. And every one of us will stand on their own as a nation. Every nation can be on, will use their own resources to do themselves. When narratives are repeated long enough, perception becomes truth in the public eye. But we must ask, is it fair to generalize millions of people as Nigeria is doing today? Is it fair to generalize millions of people? Is it fair to equate cultural identity with extremism? Is it fair to silence legitimate grievance through labeling? I'm asking you, is it fair? Those one Nigerianists that are watching us, is it fair? I'm asking you, the one Nigerianists watching us, and those who are not Biafrans that are watching us, is it fair to generalize millions of people? Is it fair to equate cultural identity with extremism? Is it fair to silence legitimate grievance through labeling? We must separate individuals from entire population. We must separate individuals from entire population. But in Nigeria, the easiest card they play today is someone who wants to be popular will now attack the Igbo race. You see some of them that claim to be activists. When they have a problem with one person, the less you hear Igbo people. And sometimes when you look deep and see what is actually the problem, they are the one at the fault. But since they know that when you project that Igbo-ness, once you speak Igbo, many enemies will now turn because of their strength. Those who are scared of the population, those who are scared of the competition, they will turn around and begin to support you. It's a common phrase they use in Nigeria to make their attack. Igbo people. Once they use that title, Igbo people, you draw attention. Some people not even, there are some people who have not even had any deal with an Igbo man. They have never married an Igbo person. They have not even had an Igbo friend. They have never done a business with an Igbo person. But once he hears an Igbo, they get uncomfortable because of the labeling, evil labeling that have been put on us by the British, the caliphates, and the elites who want to manipulate themselves into political reign. We must separate individual from entire population. When someone offends you, speak to that person as a person, not an entire tribe. When you have an issue with a person, focus on that very person. Call out the wrong he has done, not an entire people. We must separate political disagreement with ethnic identity. But of course, the zoo will always do their things separate, differently. When you blackmail a whole people, you deepen wounds. When you blackmail a whole people, you deepen wounds. And deep wounds do not heal nations. That is the case of the Igbo Biafrans, more especially. They have been so blackmailed that the wound is deepened. The wound is very deepened. Very, very deepened. That today, we cannot accept it anymore. I thank Chukwu Okike for the spirit of Onye Aghana Nwanneya that is back. Don't miss it up. Forget about anything you are seeing on social media or whatever you're seeing. I bet you we are together and we know what we want and we're going to get it. Resurrection does not mean violence. When I say that the spirit of Biafra have resurrected, it doesn't mean violence. Resurrection means awakening. Resurrection of the spirit of Onye Aghana Nwanneya means awakening. Resurrection means clarity. Resurrection means remembrance, who we are. Remembering who you are. The Igbo spirit is entrepreneur. It is resilient. It is adaptive. It survives displacement. It builds from loss. History shows that even after devastating conflicts, Igbo communities rebuild through commerce, education, migration, and innovation. That is who we are. That is resurrection. That spirit of resurrection will never leave us. It is a gift, a blessing from Chukwu Gabiam. Nobody can take it away. And today, the resurrection we see today is about mental unity. I can bet you that majority of Biafrans, we are united, we know what we want. Forget about the minor differences we have that are created by the Janjaweed and some greedy people. We are mentally united. Mental unity, we have it. Economic collaboration, we can't stop. Cultural confidence, we are there. Responsible civic engagement, yes, we are part of it. Demanding fairness without dehumanizing others. That is what we have been doing. That is what the Biafran people have been doing. Demanding fairness without dehumanizing any other person. If you see our demand as threat, it is up to you. It is because of your wicked heart. That is why when you see us demanding for fairness, asking for self-determination, you see it as a threat, you call it war. It is because of your wicked heart. That is why you see it in that way. Onye Aghana Nwanneya. Onye Aghana Nwanneya today means support Igbo business, support community education, promote accurate narrative, correct misinformation, calmly engage politically with intelligence. Resurrection is strategic, not emotional. I want you to pay attention to this part. What Onye Aghana Nwanneya means for us today. What it means to. So if you have not keyed in, you have to key in. But I know majority of Biafrans are already on the track. If you have not keyed in, stop waiting, key in. Onye Aghana Nwanneya. Today, it means you must support Igbo businesses wherever you see it. Wherever you see Igbo business as an Igbo person, you must support it. There was a time we had a program where somebody, I think it's in program here, where somebody was talking about how the Jews do their businesses. That you don't put your money in the hand of your enemy. The same person that is trying to take your life and destroy your identity, you go and invest your money in him or her. You put your money in their business. You don't do so. When you want to do your business, invest your money where it will favor you. That is why when you see the Jewish, if they want to engage in any business, they will first of all consider their people. They go to a market to buy something, they will consider their people first. They put them, except their own person doesn't have it. Once a Jew have it, they will buy from him first before others. You must patronize Igbo businesses as an Igbo person. That is what the spirit of Biafra means today. You must support community education. That is what Onye Aghana Nwanneya means today. You must support community education in your own community. Support, help to educate them. Help to educate them about what Biafra is all about. What humanity is all about. What truthfulness is about. What sincerity is all about. Help educate your community. That is Onye Aghana Nwanneya that we're talking about today. Promote accurate narratives, not lies and propaganda. Accurate narrative. When you see somebody pushing a narrative against your brother, that you know that this thing is a lie, you have not verified it, don't promote it. Correct that wrong narrative. Push the accurate narrative. Don't try to change things and add things to favor you. No, don't. Onye Aghana Nwanneya. Don't be in a place where they are discussing evil about your brother. No matter the difference you have with that person. Even if you're in a different camp, your brother is in a different camp. For the fact that it's your brother, Push the right narrative. Hold on to your own opinion, but do not push a narrative that is inaccurate. Always push the accurate statement that someone said. Correct misinformation calmly. When you hear misinformation against your brother, against your sister, you don't need to go to war. You don't need to fight. Correct it calmly. Today, in the days of the social media, there are so many misinformations. In this time of AI information, one of the things I do in my platform is that when I see you post any AI video and I see it, I delete it. If I see any AI video that is not somebody that made, I delete it. Because most of them are misinformations. You use somebody's picture, you push a narrative that he said or she said. Meanwhile, that is not the truth. Sometimes they push it. I don't know whether you want because you want to make us. Some of them will push false information about Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. Some will create content with Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, Mazi Simon Ekpa, what they did not say, what never happened. And they keep sharing. Misinformation. One thing I do in my platform, if you send any misinformation, more especially all those AI generated information, I delete it. When I see AI information, one hand, I don't need to, I will dictate it with one hand. Once I see it, I know. I delete it instantly, except I didn't see it. But if I see it on my platform, I'm deleting it immediately. On my WhatsApp group, I delete it. We don't need to fight about it. I don't need to curse you out. I take it out. Correct misinformation calmly. Engage politically with intelligence. We must apply intelligence. Everything is not gara-gara fight. Everything is not insult. And when we talk about political engagement or intelligence, in everything you do in life, there is politics. In this Biafra agitation, there is politics. In our personal life, there is politics. In our homes, there is politics. Always apply intelligence in any of them, whenever you find yourself in it. Even in the Nigerian politics that happen today, in as much as we are not part of Nigerian politics, like you see the ones that are carrying their movement here and there, when you have the time to speak on it, about it, speak with intelligence. Engage with people with intelligence. You don't just cuss them out. Like those of our people who still believe that somehow they can salvage Nigeria. If you want to engage them with intelligence. Not by cursing, abusing, and at the end of the day, you go home without making any point. My fellow Biafrans, we have a lot to do, and we must continue to do until we achieve our aim. Nigeria is never a United States, has never been, and will never be. The greatest challenge in the zoological republic is structural distrust. Structural distrust, and that distrust will never go away because Nigeria was not built in unity. The greatest challenge in Nigeria is structural distrust. Distrust between regions, distrust between ethnic groups, distrust between citizens and the state. Everything is in tatters. There is no one that trusts each other. When people feel unheard, they mobilize. When grievances are dismissed, they intensify. The solution is not more suppression. The solution is dialogue. But ask me, is Nigerian government willing to dialogue? The greatest dialogue and move you can make is to conduct a referendum and hear the voice of the people. We are not begging you for anything. Conduct a referendum. If you do not want to accept our referendum that we have already conducted, Mazi Simon Ekpa will be paying of going extra mile to conduct a self-referendum to convince you. So if you are not convinced, conduct yours and let's see what the difference is. The solution is not more suppression. The solution is dialogue. The solution is structural fairness. The solution is equity. Can you get that in Nigeria? I think you know best what the answer is. No country thrives with suppressing identity. No country in the world thrives with suppressing identity. Strong nations manage diversity through justice, not denial. But you and I know that the denial is the order of the day in Nigeria. Look at the Christian genocide that is happening. Even when there is overwhelming evidence, even when the United States is on the ground to see things for themselves, yet Nigeria government continued to deny. They went ahead to pay $9 million. $9 million to lobby in denial that there is no Christian genocide, even when there are overwhelming evidence that the blind can see, the deaf can hear. The Igbo demand for dignity is not a threat to others. Our demand for dignity is not a threat to others. It is not a threat to others. And I don't know why they see it as a threat. Dignity for one group does not reduce dignity for another. So why are you threatened when we ask for dignity, when we ask for fairness? Why are you threatened? Justice is not a limited resources. But in Nigeria, justice is a limited resources. Justice is not supposed to be a limited resources. But in Nigeria, justice is a limited resources. When it has to do with the North, they are treated differently. Southwest, treated differently. The Southeast, treated differently. Justice is not a limited resources. We must say no to the propaganda and say yes to the truth at all times. Today, we reject every blackmail. Any place you are in your platform, even if you are 2, 3, 4, 5 in your platform, speak up. We reject blackmail. We reject misinformation. We reject divisive politics. But we also reject hatred. We reject violence. We reject dehumanization. Because Onye Aghana Nwanneya is not tribal supremacy. In case you don't know, Onye Aghana Nwanneya is not tribal supremacy. But you know, they will always blackmail and misinterpret what we say and push it in a way that is going to serve their own selfish interests. But I want to remind every one of you watching us today talking about Onye Aghana Nwanneya is not tribal supremacy. It is moral responsibility. That is what it is. Moral responsibility. If we want the world to hear us, we must speak with discipline. This is to my fellow Biafrans. If we want the world to hear us, we must speak with discipline. If we want justice, we must model justice. If we want unity, we must practice unity. My fellow Biafrans, wherever you are joining me on this platform, a lot has happened. And so many things that happen are giving me joy because they are confirmation of what our past leaders have spoken about. When I say past leaders, I mean our leaders who are in detention. Not that they have resigned all the time. No. Don't misquote me. Don't say I said past leaders. But I said I mean Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, who remains the supreme leader of IPOB that is in detention, and Mazi Samuel, who is the prime minister that is in detention. What I mean is that they are not with us now. So don't misquote me and say that I've taken them out. They are not. They are still there. Here is what resurrection looks like. When I talk about the resurrection of Onye Aghana Nwanneya, here is what it looks like. The resurrection we are talking about, that I'm speaking about today, is educate yourself on history. Don't you ever ignore history. You see, the Janjaweed know the importance of history. They know the strength of history. That is why they remove it from their curriculum. And while you were sleeping, they smuggled in a fake one, which we talked about here. But are we going to remain silent and say, oh, they smuggled in this? No, 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 we can't be silent. Educate yourself on history. Support peaceful civic engagement. Every peaceful civic engagement, support it. Promote economic collaboration. Reject inflammatory language. Protect unity within the community. Protect unity within the community. The Biafran community. Your local community where you are. Your tribal community. Most importantly, the Biafran community. Promote unity within the community. And when I speak about unity, I'm talking about the unity of purpose. I will always put that clause, unity of purpose, because some of you are very mischievous. There are some people who are very mischievous. They will misinterpret you to sell their hate. I've seen so many people come on my platform here on the comment section and they will be writing rubbish about, judging people about unity. You don't talk about unity. If you don't come under us, we'll not be united with you. And rubbish. Who made you a judge? And who made you, what made you think you're on the right side? Who told you you're on the right path? That you begin to decide who goes and who stays. That is why I define the unity I talk about. Unity of purpose. Very important. Protect unity within the community. Engage across community respectively. Engage respectfully. In whichever group you are, in whichever group, in whichever camp you think you are, engage across respectfully. It doesn't matter the camp you belong. It doesn't matter the group you are. It doesn't matter the title you give yourself. Engage across each group and community respectfully. Hopefully. That is the way to move forward. It is very important. Unity of purpose. Because resurrection begins with mindset. Onye Aghana Nwanneya is alive. He's not dead. Onye Aghana Nwanneya is very much alive. Not in anger, not in chaos, but in responsibility. Did you hear me? Not in anger, not in chaos, but in responsibility. Onye Aghana Nwanneya is very much alive. If you don't know it now. The Igbo spirit was never destroyed. It was tested. It was challenged. It was misrepresented. But today, we stand not as a victim. We stand as thinkers. We stand as builders. We stand as a people who remember. Let no one abandon their brother. Let no one abandon their sister. Onye Aghana Nwanneya. The resurrection has begun. And what caught my mind to go into this discussion today is the video that was made. There's a video I'm going to play. You know, we have been worried about the attitude of our traditional rulers, the way they behave, the misrepresentation of our the people by the traditional ruler. And when we see it, we think that all hope is lost. I saw a video where a traditional ruler was making a case before the president of Nigeria. A traditional ruler was making a case for Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. And that traditional ruler caught my attention. His Royal Majesty, Igwe Ambassador, Dr. Lawrence Okoli Chikezie Agubuzo Obunechendo of Eziama Olo Kingdom, Eziago Local Government, Enugu State. A traditional ruler in Enugu was making a case, speaking boldly before Abuja, before Asarok, and he told them to their face. It's been a very long time we saw a man speak in such a confidence. This is what Martin Nnamdi Kanu has been talking about. For a very long time, we have not seen anybody as bold as this traditional ruler from Enugu. We have the Obi of Onitsha. What has he been doing? We have the SNDS in Imo State. What has he been doing? We have so many other traditional rulers in Igbo land. What has they been doing? What have they been doing? When I saw this traditional ruler speak, it gives me the courage to know that there are still people out there. You know, sometimes when things become so bad, it's just like one story in the Bible where somebody was thinking that he's the only prophet remaining. And when Chukwu came and opened his eye, he realized that there are thousands of prophets out there that have not yet emerged. When we begin to look at the attitude of our traditional rulers, sometimes you'll be tempted to say there is no other traditional ruler alive that can be able to speak. But recently, we have seen that there are still people that have the confidence to speak to the power, face to face, and talk to them. Not in secret. Not the ones that will come and say we are doing something on the ground. Oh, we went to Abuja with lies. Lie from the pit of hell. This is the first traditional ruler that I have seen that came in the open and spoke the mind of the people. And I'm going to play that video, and I want us to listen to that video, what the man said. The very first time I see a high chief, a traditional ruler on that level, come out and speak in the public, and made a case and damn the consequence. For the very first time. That means there is hope. That means the spirit of Onye Aghana Nwanneya is not dead. That spirit is not dead. It's alive. Because sometimes when the temptation becomes so much, you'll be tempted to say, there is nobody remaining. But after that, watching that video, I found out that yes, there is hope. Let us listen to what that traditional ruler said in that video. Very interesting. Let us pay attention.
Of our people. But having come now to Abuja and listened to Professor Mohammed Pate and his team, we are now more committed. So the traditional rulers of Nigeria will now go home and work harder than before. But I must tell you, Mr. President, that personally, I don't feel very happy because
what he's trying to explain is that in their eloquent speech made in this program, all they were talking is the traditional rulers should encourage their people to work together with their zoological republic government, encourage unity, using the traditional rulers to get into the people. Now, hear what the man is saying about his own personal grievance. He didn't hide it. Inasmuch, he said, we are ready to work, we are ready to foster the unity you are talking about. But look at this. Look at this. You know, when he said that they clapped, everybody clapped, and now he threw the bomb. Let us listen.
You were not here in the morning. There were several speeches. We listened carefully. I listened to the opening address by His Imperial Majesty, the Onye of Ife. And he was gingering all of us to work as a family, to work as a team, to see Nigeria as one.
Oh, yeah.
And then I felt maybe this is good. But when you look at it, this same Imperial Majesty is arranging to confer a very high honor on Sunday Igboho, who in my own part of Nigeria in the southeast, we see him as a counterpart of Nnamdi Kanu.
You see them, they are laughing. Look at Tinubu sitting there. Look at Tinubu seated there. Tinubu laughed until he bent down and he was like, it's not a joking matter. This traditional ruler is telling them the cocoa of the cocoa. And this is one thing they need to tell them face to face. You don't tell us you go to the back to say it. Look at Tinubu seated there. All the traditional rulers seated there. How can you be talking about unity? How can you be taking us to work, go and walk? Today, Sunday Igboho, we don't have anything against him. We saw him as someone who was fighting for the Yoruba cause. And at a point in time, he was convicted. He was also accused, chased away, even in his house. Many people were killed in his house. They saw arms and ammunition in his house. But today, he has been pardoned and freed. And he's going free. But in the case of Mazen Nnamdi Kanu, that is on the same path, today he's in Sokoto. And you are here preaching of your so-called unity. You are here talking about us that he is not happy in the public, face to face. Before this one is not say you tell us we are working, we are doing something behind, we are working. This is something we have not seen for decades. We have not seen this confidence from anybody. You see, it's coming from a traditional leader in Enugu State. Some of you that claim you are from Anambra and Imo and you are more Igbo than other. Look at the person that is speaking from Enugu State, a traditional ruler, bold and saying it the way it is. What is Obi of Onitsha saying? The Oni of Ife is here. Other traditional rulers are here. What is Obi of Onitsha saying about the case of Mazen Nnamdi Kanu and his conduct detention, taking him to school? What are they saying? What is theirs and theirs in the Imo State saying? It is a shame. But I thank Chukwu Okabiama that there are still people who are standing. Onye Aghana Nwanneya is still alive.
And my brother, fellow royal father, the Imperial Majesty, does not seem to understand the pain in my heart when Nnamdi Kanu is in Sokoto.
He doesn't understand.
So, sir, the ball stops on your court.
Yes. Before you talk of unity, set him free.
Bring this man out. If we don't want him in Nigeria, return him to Kenya or London, where they took him from. You see, Some of us here are being asked to go and work, but the young people in the Southeast are so agitated.
Tell them, in case they don't
They
know.
can even beat us.
We will, oh.
They see
will.
us as sellout. We come to Abuja, they may think we come to collect money,
Oh.
and then we keep quiet. So, sir, please do something about this. Do something about this.
It is not by clapping. This is a straight bullet, a message that must be adhered to. But I bet you they won't do anything. These are people, that's why I say there can never be unity in Nigeria. The foundation of Nigeria was laid on falsehood, not on unity. That foundation was not laid on unity. Nigeria itself, the name Nigeria means division. The name Nigeria means forced, it means division. It means forced unity. So how can you be talking about unity in a place where disunity is the order of the day? How? How is it going to work?
We cannot make progress in this country if we don't tell ourselves the home truth.
Simple.
There's no way. There's no way. Now, again, they were talking about southern traditional rulers.
This is another lie. This man is trying to debunk another lie. The boldness, I love the bold. How I wish you can have this kind of men representing us. How I wish. I want you to pay attention to this side. Southern traditional rulers. Bunch of idiots and lies they cook to manipulate and maneuver. They didn't know that this man will speak in this manner. If they had known, they wouldn't bring him. If they had known that this man will make this kind of a speech, they won't bring him. Just listen to this part. Listen to what he's about to say.
Committee on Health. And the eminent professor Patel was saying that this will become an annual event, what we are doing today, if I heard him correctly. The truth of the matter is that there is nothing like Southern Traditional Rulers Council.
Thank you. Tell him.
If you come here, Patel, and you give money to people on that basis, it's not correct.
Very good.
The South is not the North.
Thank you.
We have a system.
They don't know.
We need unity in diversity.
There is nothing like that.
So if you want to deal with us in the Southeast. If you have resources for us, give it to us.
The Southern traditional rulers.
Don't give it to people who come and say, we are Southern Traditional Rulers Council.
Chineke.
Democracy is a representative government.
Absolutely. Agree.
And anybody who goes to present himself without his people is not democratic.
Absolutely.
So get it. We think that we will do our best. Mr. President, we are going to support this health. Do all we can, but please listen to our cries. May God bless all of us.
A very wonderful speech. For a very long time, I can't remember, I've never had a traditional ruler with such a confidence in a public gathering to speak on behalf. This was the only speech I have ever had that is on behalf of the masses. The only speech I have had that is the voice of the masses from beginning to the end. From beginning to the end. Which unity are you talking about? Which unity? And they are creating fake southern traditional rulers. There's nothing like southern traditional. South and north is not the same. Look at the north. In the north, the middle belt are pulling themselves away with all those lies they have told for many years. With all the lies they have told in the north, using them to create a number that doesn't exist. They use them to create a number that doesn't exist. Today, they are pulling themselves out by force. The middle belt are pulling themselves out. And you are here coming to introduce southern traditional rulers. And that is how they create those divisions. They create it, they manipulate, they chase one person, they give them money, and before you know it, they begin to push something that doesn't exist anyway. May Chukwu Okike Abiama keep this man and let him continue to speak. Speak in defense of the people. Just as he said, in democracy, you defend the will of the people. You speak for the masses. You don't speak for yourself. And the masses in Biafra today are asking for the unconditional release of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. Our request is that we want to be on our own. Self-determination is our request. We are asking for self-determination. We have gone away to conduct our self-referendum. We are asking for recognition. If you cannot recognize, conduct your own referendum. That is our request. The request of the masses. And we will never back down. May Chukwu Okike Abiama protect this man and give him more strength to speak more. You're welcome, my brother Kochux. Kochux, you're welcome. Go ahead and unmute yourself. Kochux, are you there? Unmute yourself if you're there. I think he's not there.
I'm here. Good morning, Margaret.
You're welcome.
Good morning, Biafrans all over the world. Margaret, this our chief. Okay. This is those chiefs that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is talking about.
Yes.
Because for several years now, I haven't even seen a person that can. We haven't even seen a person that can come out and challenge the ganja weed openly like this. At the same time, I like that in final speech.
Yes.
If it's all this one that they put on feet, we're going to say, may God bless Nigeria. But this man said, may God bless all of us. Meaning,
simple.
Every one of them sitting here, they know that Nigeria is a dead zone. Even that man himself, you know Nigeria is a dead zone. And Nigeria can never be one. Even all of them that is talking about one Nigeria today, most especially the one that called himself the president of Nigeria, Tinubu. He have come once before. He said it openly that Nigeria can never be one. But today, he's protecting the influence of that dead zone because he has been part of them. And every one of them out there campaigning of one Nigeria, campaigning of 2027 elections. They have forgot what is coming to them. This stuff that they are talking about today, Tinubu himself knows the reason why he make that pass. He suppress it for now. Because that 2027, we're going to implement it, whether they like it or not. And all of them sitting down there that are still talking about one Nigeria. Shala is taking over all over. He's taking almost all over Nigeria. Today, they're in Niger State. And every one of us is aware after Niger State, they're going to come to Kwara State. From Kwara State, they will not enter another state. All these people that call themselves traditional rulers, not especially, they are Punjab. Not especially. all of them that is working for Janjaweed, none of them can come out openly and say this thing, this all thing that our chief said in open camera. Because then, if all of them wise as we speak now, every one of them that stay in that convention, this is a message, this is food for thought if they do not know. Because then every one of them neglect this speech that come out from the bottom of the from the bottom of the heart, or how I even put it myself. If every one of them neglect this message, if any one of them neglect this message, 6 months from now, all of them are going to hear it. Because Mazinam Dekani is suffering today because of, he's not even suffering because of only Biafrans. He's suffering for the whole Africa. Because if open, he say it's open, that oil in Biafra land, we are not going to use this for anything. Just give us our freedom, and that oil, we are going to distribute it to every Africa country. They are going to take oil in free. But because how they are even doing it now, myself, that's oil that I want to take by force. Time is going to come. That's what that Mazinam cannot talk about. We are going to tell them that no room for that again. They're not going to take that oil for free again. They must pay before taking it. I'm still saying today, this message of our chief is a food for thought. All of you that sit down in that convention, go back to your house and meditate on that message and work with it, or else Nigeria is going to swallow every one of you. Thank you, Mother.
Thank you so much, my brother. That is it. Every one of them should go and think about what the man has said. It is very, very deep. It is very, very deep. Those of them that have conscience should go and think. And we need more people like that. We need more traditional rulers that have such voice. Enough of this, you are doing something on the ground. We are talking to Asra, we are going. Enough of those deceits. We have seen enough of it. And just like that man, that traditional ruler said, most of them, they will be collecting beating very soon. More especially this time of their election, they will be collecting beating. Mad people everywhere. Let's just take a quick break and then we'll come back and play some other videos.
Don't follow for Gotao. Them say Tinubu don't follow for Gotao. Tinubu don't follow for Gotao. They want to take it tax to chop off our head. Senate house fall and the criminals. Concrete military fall and the terrorists. Injustice on motor shop forget law for inside court. Changaro Republic at the government. Abubakar Malami don't fall for Gotao. Him and EFCC put leg for shit. Them say Sheikh Kukumi don't fall for Gotao. Because Donald Trump don't come to Machamo. Hingo matching Boko boys, matching terrorists. As the government knows a big way for kidnapping to stop. I make it don't fall for Gotao. They make Nigerians see one die for suffer.
Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. The Zoological Republic, as we know, has already fallen and things are falling apart more and more. You can see most of the videos we are seeing from the protest that is going on in Nigeria come on to sign electronic transfer of vote. Come on to sign electronic transfer of vote on time. They cannot pass it. They are rigging it. They are pushing propaganda, blackmailing it. They are using different kinds of style. Very fraudulent attempt to sweep it under the carpet. And when we say Nigeria will not survive, we think it's a lie. You see, the rigging is already, the battle for the rigging has started already. Election never reach you, they don't fight battle how to rig it. And some of you still have hope that something is going to happen for you. I'm sorry to disappoint all of you. a lot is happening and more is going to happen.
They are still shouting Peter for Nigeria. Mad people everywhere.
Mad people. Let us see this video of their madness in their Senate.
Because you don't have network, wherever you have network, that message will deliver and have the original time you send that message. Why are we raping Nigerians? Is it not enough? Is it not enough? We have borrowed money 3 times to pay contractors. That money 3 times we are diverted to other things. And contractors are dying. And you have the pages to call us emergency plenary for us to smuggle in what we have found before. I don't want to talk. Thank you.
If you observe in the people that are protesting, you see that most of the people protesting there are from Southeast. Look at the caps, just look at them and their appearance. You know that the people that are here are majority people from the Southeast. When you look at them closely, you will realize that the people who are fighting in that house are mostly from the Southeast. Look at them.
If these people are wise enough, if these people are wise enough, they should walk out on that house, on that they should walk out. Stay there shouting ole ole. You're not going to stop them of doing what they
will still do what they are doing.
They will still do it. But they walk out. This is the right time for them to even talk about this Biafra that we've been talking about. Because
exactly.
They are doing nonsense.
Look at them. Many of them there. Look at them. Look at their cap. Look at their appearance. You know that many of these people here, look at them. They are all from Southeast.
As they organize themselves like this, so if they call the international world, international community, they should come and do the needful. You're not going to take them. You're not going to even take them a month. What is a month self? Yes, 2-3 weeks, 2-3 days, matter. They're going to pass the law. They will come and do the needful. They are sitting here shouting on one Nigeria. One Nigeria are going to kill all of you. Continue shouting one Nigeria. I have said it before several times. The Nigerian youth, that this federal government, the government of APC, have gotten the password of every one of them that call themselves Nigerian youth. They have gotten their password. That is why they are controlling them like zombies. This one will sleep here. You be shouting Peter for Nigeria. The other idiot that call himself very black idiot, I've been a very black man with that name myself. You say they'll be shouting his phone. If any man from Southeast, any of our brother or any of our sister talk, that is when they are going to remember that this person is a Biafran. But for them to come out, okay, I think it's about 2 days ago, P2B went to market to price granite. Today, that pricing of granite is circulating everywhere. The same Nigeria youth, the same bloggers that are getting their passport, they had one sharing the post of that P2B. The earlier all these people know that Nigeria is not mean way for all of them, it will going to be better for every one of them. Walk out from that house, they are going to do the needful. Come out and go and protest. Mobilize that Nigeria youth. Those people that we are fighting for, mobilize them. Come out and mobilize them. They are going to do the needful, whether they like it or not. If you are here shouting ole ole ole, mass people everywhere. Imagine I've said it conference time. Protest, you're not going to do anything in Nigeria. Protest, you're not going to do anything. If you not talk today finish. Tomorrow you still go and follow them. Because we know if you do not beat them, you are going to join them. No matter what, you are going to join them. But this is the high time for you to come out and mobilize Nigerian youth. Those people that have gotten their passport, come and mobilize them. They are going to do the meeting because they are going to be on a backbone. You're going to be on a backbone. Come out and mobilize them. People are there shouting ole ole ole. Who is now fooling you? Shouting ole, is it going to reduce them? You're not going to do anything to them. They have feet. That's their confraternity room. Talk what they want to do. Stamp it. There is no any Jupiter that we're going to destroy that thing that they have planned. Nobody. Because they know that Nigeria youth is of no use. The same thing that happened during NSAS, that's the same thing we're going to applicate. You're going to do people. You people that wear red cap chief, that wear red caps, they're shouting ole ole ole. Very soon they'll come and be picking people one after the other, like fish waiting for fish pond. They'll come and be picking all of you one by one. If you now didn't want to do the meeting. Even self, forget about all these things that people are talking about now. Talk about the needs of Mazin Nnamdi Kanu. Because without Mazin Nnamdi Kanu, all these things that people are doing is useless. It's useless. You are shouting ole ole ole. Who are you calling ole ole? Maybe all of you plan them together. Because we don't give you people their percentage. You will get them out to come out and talk ole ole ole. Match people everywhere.
Complete mad people, my brother. Shout. You shouted for how many years? You are still shouting. We just need only one man to be like this very traditional ruler today that spoke power to Tinubu face to face. He spoke to Abuja face to face. Tinubu was sitting there and he made his case. We just need one confident person to tell these people what the masses want.
And at the same time, this is the high time we are going to send a message to that the same Abuja. We must not see any how will I even put it myself, any pinch on that our traditional rulers, because that is what people are good of. If one person talk, you people want to go after him. Nothing must happen to that man, no. Because we not try and that beast that people are looking for now, we're going to see.
Mad people everywhere. It is so sad. We just need one person, only one person, just one person to behave like a human being.
APC only! APC only! APC only! APC only! APC only! APC only! Any minority that I know, any minority
That is it. That is what we see in the Zoological Republic. And when we say that nothing is going to work in the zoo, it is because of this kind of nonsense. You see it over and over and over and over again. A country that will never work. Everything you see shows you that it will not work. And still, some people are just having hope that one miracle is going to happen. From where? Who told you? Who told you that? Man.
I do not have any problem with anybody who decides to play any kind of politics. But the very moment you start playing politics with the lives of the people, the very moment you start playing politics with humanity, then I need you to mark it somewhere that the universe is waiting for you in an end that you may never understand. Anybody who is boldly supporting the continuation of the government we have in Nigeria today, that person does not mean well for this country. You may elect to Google it. Google life expectancy, the countries with the lowest life expectancy in the world. And you will shockingly discover that Nigeria happens to be number one. 54 years life expectancy in Nigeria. So those of us who are above 54 years, it is assumed that we are living by the grace of God, because all the indices that support the good health are not in existence in Nigeria. You do not need to ask me what they are, because you know. And this government that is ruling us today, tell me what they have done to improve on health care. Tell me what they have done to improve on anything at all, and I will not be able to show you. We are living by the grace of God in this country. Everything is on a standstill. Nothing is functioning. The only thing that is functioning in Nigeria is politics. Year in, year out. Serious amount of money are being budgeted for different departments. And we are beginning to hear that the money that will eventually get to those departments are not even up to 20% of the budgeted sum. The remaining amount will always end up in private pockets of the people that want to become lords, people that want to become godfathers, godmothers, god demons, or whatever thing they are called. They want to continue to silence the people by using the money that they have stolen from the system to become lords over others, so that they will give bags of rice, give food stuff to people, and then they vote them back. Nigeria should be above where we are today. If you go to hospital, what kind of medical attention do you receive? If you call emergency, what is the result you get? The police officers that are standing along the road up till tomorrow, they are there collecting money from motorists along the road. I just drove from Ohofia yesterday back to my base in Asabadeta State. I am going to work this morning, and this got laid in my spirit that I have to speak out. We want a country that is functioning, and this APC government is not promising anything. If up to today we cannot have anything, the president himself said it when he was campaigning for the last time, that if eventually he did not, that they have to give us electricity anywhere at all. If they fail to give us electricity, do not vote for me again. Why are you campaigning today, sir, with all due respect, when there is no electricity anywhere? You actually said that nobody should bill anybody anymore by estimate. But that is what we are still experiencing in Nigeria in your presidency. With all due respect, sir, you have not managed to do anything. Why are you boldly campaigning, engaging the services of those they call the city boys and city girls? Development of a country is not based in the city. Development is local.
No,
when the people at the local level cannot say anything about you, you are, with all due respect, wasting your time in the cities. Nigeria will not always remain like this. Men and women that are saddled with the responsibility of leading, can you people at least lead? Can we do less of this corruption? What are we doing with money? Why are we leaving this country so impoverished? Because we want to have so much money in our bank accounts. What is money? What exactly is money? If this country will start to function, it is functioning for the good of all. Serious amount of monies are budgeted for departments of government. The money will not get to the departments and then ends up in private pockets. Nobody has gone to jail. Nobody has been in prison. All the people that are in prison for corruption in this country are those that fell out with government. Anybody who is still committed to the leaking of the boot of men and the women in power, they never end up in jail, no matter the level of their corruption. We have names of people. We are not going to mention the names, but we know the names of all the people, including the people who, the person that owns the house in Lagos, where a huge amount of money got discovered. Nothing has happened. Nothing happened eventually. We are seeing a whole lot of things. For how long will this continue? We are calling. Can government sit up? Can you help us? Can you help us? Why are people campaigning for a failed government, a government that has failed, a government that is accredited as living in denial before the eyes of global community? People are being massacred and we are playing politics with lives of people. The universe is looking. Crime of killing another is the biggest in the world. I belong to a community, the Igbo community in Nigeria. Taking life is the highest crime. We call it Igbo Osho. Onye buru Osho anagoniye. Anybody that has taken human life in one way, you may not understand that you were not the one that took that life. Yes. But for the mere fact that you are covering up for those that took the life, that seed is on you. Anybody who is covering somebody who has committed the crime of killing another, shedding innocent blood, you were not the one that shed that blood. But for the mere fact you are covering the person that shed blood, that blood is on you.
Yes, sir.
How many more blood can we shed in this country before we start thinking? I want to have a Nigeria that functions. Can we make it work?
That is where some of you Nollywood actors are messing up. For how old are you? You are now getting old. You are above 50, and yet you are thinking that you are going to do some magic, or your eloquent speech will make things work in Nigeria. Continue to deceive yourself. Continue to deceive yourself. We are already living in reality, and the reality today is disintegration, peaceful disintegration to your tent, O Israel. That is the solution. Continue to make yourself happy and sound nice. That is for you. Kelvin, I can see you there, Kelvin, on TikTok. Kelvin, you have something to say? Unmute yourself and talk to us, Kelvin. Kelvin, are you there? Kelvin. Kelvin on TikTok. Unmute yourself. You are muted, Kelvin. I think Kelvin is out. He doesn't want to speak. So we must continue. So these people that are deceiving themselves, we are not the same with them. Even though they talk eloquently and speak eloquently, you see the fraud. The fraud has been there. You met it there in Nigeria. You are born in it, and now you are growing old, having white hair. Still, it is still there. And you think that some miracle will make it go away. It will not. The earlier you begin to talk about solution, the better. Your people are already pushing for solution. Join us and push for solution. That is the best thing you can do for yourself and for your unborn generation. The hatred and the disunity will never stop. You cannot wish it away. There is no unity and there will never be. Let them continue to deny the truth. Let them continue to deny the fact. It doesn't change the fact. The fact will always be there, and it will continue to haunt them for the rest of their life. It will continue to haunt them. It will continue to haunt them. Let them continue to parade their lies and propaganda. It will continue to haunt them. Let's hear this and see what they have to say here.
The only thing that we have today that is keeping us and giving us hope is this democracy. Nothing. The system has really collapsed where we are. We cannot even vote for the past maybe 60 years. People impose themselves on us through godfathers and money. We want to change the narrative. We want to take away the Almajiris from the street. We don't want them to be using our people to recruit Boko Haram and shout Allahu Akbar when they are slaughtering people.
You see, this was what Goodluck Ebele Jonathan wanted to do for you people. You rejected it. Jonathan personally built schools to remove Almajiri from the street completely. Almajiri that we know they are the recruiting front for the terrorists. You people refuse. Now it is time for politics. They have come to speak their eloquent English. They have come now. It is time for politics to speak grammar. to deceive those they can deceive. They are practically admitting of funding and providing food soldier for all the terrorists in Nigeria. But when I say it here, people will think as if I'm making it up. That the Fulanis are the one provide, the northern part of Nigeria provide the food soldier for all the terrorist groups. They provide the food soldier for all the terrorist groups in Nigeria. When we say it, they will think, they will call it a hate speech. It is not. Now you are admitting it because it is now politics. The same thing that Jonathan did for you people, you rejected him and threw stone on him. That is what you are talking about. Hear him.
Using our people to recruit Boko Haram and shout Allahu Akbar when they are slaughtering people. We don't want it to continue. This democracy is our hope. We have to bring good people into the National Assembly. We have to change the system. We are telling them, if they don't want us to do it in peace, we must do it in violence. We can say it. We are not going to mix our words. We will not die in the hands of the insurgents and the bandits. We must come to Abuja here and die with the politicians that are breeding those criminals in our domain. We will not stop this fight. If you are in Kogi, you are in Bayelsa, you are in Ghana, in Sokoto, come out and fight for your children. Come out and fight for yourself. Come out and fight for the soul of this country. Democracy is the soul. It determines everything. And in Islam we are told anything that leads to wajib is wajib. Definitely we are going to be out in mass to make sure that we change the narration, we change the thinking, and we must elect people that will do laws that will make us humans, not to creating animals in the name of people, killing people for.
You see, from all indication, the person that is speaking here is a moderate. But as you know, at the end of the day, they will attack him. They will attack him, and his word will never be accepted, will never make meaning to any one of them. We have seen many people speak in this manner before. After speaking, they threw it into the dustbin and they do a different thing altogether. So, it is going to be hell in 2027. Already we are positioned ourselves already. We are out of the zoo. We are not going to be part of the election. We have never been part of the election. We are no longer part of their Nigeria. And they have never accepted us even from day one. So we have accepted our face. We are focusing on our nation, Biafra, seeking for recognition. We are not part of anything called Nigeria anymore. As we have said time and time again. What we are asking is that if they do not accept our referendum, they should conduct theirs. You see, many of them want Nigeria to play their story, play their video here. They come and cry and shout and cry and shout and cry and shout. After crying and shouting, what do they have to offer? Nothing. The system remains the same. After crying and shouting, what is happening will still continue to happen. Is it enough to make noise and cry and shout? It is not enough, because these people have nothing to offer. They have nothing to offer, and we will continue to march on, no matter their lies and propaganda against us. We have already grown thick skin. Our skin have grown so tough that none of their bullet is touching us anymore. We don't care.
Are the problem in Nigeria. The Igbos are the most greedy set of people in Nigeria. They are the cause of all the problems we have in Nigeria. If not for the Igbos, Nigeria would have been better by now. If not for the Igbos, Nigeria would have gone far by now in terms of greatness, in terms of political strength, in terms of military strength, in terms of everything. The major problem we are facing in Nigeria right now is because of the Igbo culture and the Igbo people and everything about the Igbo. In fact, the Igbos are so desperate for money. The Igbos are so desperate for money that without money, they cannot do anything, they cannot accomplish anything. They are willing to sell themselves, sell their family, sell their brother, sell their sister, sell everybody to get this particular money. If this is the mindset that you are having in 2026, I'm wearing this black for you to mourn your stupidity. I'm wearing this black for you to mourn your foolishness, because it's like you guys have forgotten history. Now, let me give you some bullet points. After the war in 1970, since it be say una not get sense for this country, bank savings wiped. Number one, listen. regardless of how much money an Igbo person had before the war, banks paid a flat 20 naira, not be 200, not be 2,000, not be 20,000, not be 200,000 naira. A flat rate of 20 naira to everybody, whether you be billionaire, 20 naira is what was given to the Igbos. Number one, that's number one. Yes, it is painful. Yeah, number two, abandoned property losses. Homes and businesses owned by Igbos outside the southeast, especially in Port Harcourt and Lagos, were declared abandoned and reassigned to others. The property when we say Igbo people built, they reassigned it to others. They declared it abandoned. Say, oh, this property is abandoned, and they dash other people. You hear how painful that is. Number two. Number three, loss of job and rank. Igbo civil servants, soldiers, and professionals lost their positions of seniority and had to restart careers. The Igbo people, when they see today, they lost all their rank in their government office. Maybe if they're grade 16, you go back to grade 0. Go and verify. That's number three. Number four, destroyed homeland. Of course, I don't need to explain that one to you. You know, 3 years of basketballs, everything leveled to the ground. Number five, limited state support. There was no reconciliation, no rehabilitation, no reconstruction. They were just abandoned. Now, what happened next? Instead of the Igbo people to be wailing, instead of them to be crying, instead of them to be mourning till now, this was what they did. They rebuilt through trade, apprenticeship systems, and entrepreneurship. They rebuilt from nothing, from 20 naira. They rebuilt. Two, they re-established commercial hubs like Onitsha and Aba. They said, no, we are business people. This cannot be our end. They re-established themselves. Number three, they gradually gained economic influence without state-backed restitution. Without the support of government, they came together and they rebuilt. And you will now say, an Igbo man is desperate for money? Are you out of your mind? This is a culture that they have been marginalized from the beginning, and they don't even know their place in this country as at right now. In fact, they have made it clear to them over the years that there is no hope for them to ever rule again. And you don't want them to align themselves. What if something happens to them again? Are you the one that is going to feed them? Are you the one that is going to provide for their families? Now let me tell you something about the Igbos that you don't know. I'm not an Igbo person, no. You can see my picture there. I be a Igbo person, I'm an Esa man. But listen to me. When one Igbo man is eating, many Igbo men are eating. As they chop, apprentice they chop, apprentice families they chop. Igbo men don't move alone. Igbo men don't eat alone. Igbo men don't hide their sources.
That is true.
They show and say, oh, money don't enter from this way. Oh, make una come enter. Make una come. That is any Igbo man when I see. Forget say no people. That's what they will tell you. Say, oh, this business money they inside the same ties. Once you do important like this, you'll be say sometimes from the break. They will advise you to enter the business. Only Igbo people, we have no shop, no nothing, but you can be a big businessman. As far as you have this Igbo man, my Igbo brother, they set ties. You say feed they set ties. After I they set ties. I want to tell Kato, no way, make I carry you go my shop. You can enter any Igbo man's shop and say it's your shop. As far as your percentage come out. As I did now, I not be Igbo man, no, but I can enter any Igbo man's shop and say, ah, my shop with this. What do they sell for here now? This one. Oh yeah, they pick, they select. After they finish, they go give my transaction. He doesn't even need to know me. People that rebuilt from ashes, you have the audacity to call them desperate. You must be very, very mad. Please, if the influential Igbos deem it fit that Tinubu is the way forward for them, based on experience in business or whatever fit or settle, I beg, make una leave them. Don't say, oh, we expected better from Obi Kubana. We expected better from Kubana Chief Priest. Oga, where were you in 1970? Did you expect better from the president then? Did you expect better from the way Nigerians treated them then? Where were you when they had to rebuild from 20 naira? Did you join them then? Please. I don't like rubbish on this internet. I've been quiet for so long. But this news, don't do too much. We have to start dissolving this rubbish, this nonsense. We have to start cleaning it.
So the guy has spoken, he has spoken very well. He has spoken and he hit the nail on the head. And in his message, you have to understand he was talking to non-Igbos that are attacking those who have decided to pitch their tent somewhere. What he's trying to say on that last part of it, so that you don't misunderstand him, is that Obi Kubana and Co are trying to protest their own interests and their own business. It is about their interest and their business. That's what they're trying to protect. And I think I made a video at the first time about when this thing started, that people who lost their businesses because of P2B, and P2B never spoke for them. P2B never fought for his mandate when he had the mandate. Some of them are discouraged. And they don't want to go to that risk again. They don't want to go that thing over again. They don't want to go again and begin to say they want to support P2B. At the end of the day, they lose their properties. And it is a truth. That is a fact. That is why the only solution alternative remains Biafra. Self-determination. In self-determination, you don't have to be doing all that. You don't have to be afraid of this. Your properties will be protected. Your business will be protected. And the right people will be in power. In self-determination, you don't need all that, all those kind of trouble. You're not going to encounter those problems. That is why it is necessary that you support the cause of Biafra now that you have time. Kevin, you are there. Kevin, can you hear me? If you can hear me, unmute yourself and talk to us. Kevin? Kevin, are you there?
Yes, brother, I'm here.
Go ahead and talk to us. You want to talk to us?
There's something I want to say about the speech of this our royal father.
Okay.
Who told them something in their bare face.
Yes.
In their shameless faces. Now, what the man said, what the man did there wrong is that, up till now, many people have been accusing people of not speaking out.
Yes.
But they are speaking out in the open, in the secret, maybe calling them, going to Asarum, asking them to release this man, but they refuse. Now, the world has seen that this man has made it clear to the world that they are intended to do that in the open. So they can't deny it anymore. They can never say that the Igbo leaders are not asking for the release of my agenda.
Yes.
As a matter of fact, these people are laughing at us. They are making jest of us. They are thinking that we are fools. And many of these are our head, and they are taking them for. So, but now, this royal highness, royal father, have already made that they have been asking for the release of my land in secret.
I agree with you.
Today, it's now in the open. Nobody will deny it anymore. They will not say they didn't hear him speak that, say that. And let me tell you the fact. What the man said yesterday was the mind of almost every Igbo royal father. But many of them were afraid to say it like that. But this is the mind of every Igbo head. How are you negotiating with terrorists and you hold an innocent man to think that their people will not be happy? So, and again, Yoruba had the tactics of doing this when there is election. They will first of all threaten the Igbos through many ways, many arsenals. They will polarize everything. They will destroy properties. They started destroying properties of Igbos from since the inception of this man, Tinubu. And that fear entered this people's body.
Yes.
They believe that once something happens now, they will destroy their business.
Yes.
They will continue destroying their business. So the idea just to say my business not to be destroyed or something like that. So because many of them their investment is their network and their booty and all that. These people are outside and for us. They are trying to destroy Igbo man through all means, by all means. So I believe Obi Kubana and these people, they are nobody in Igbo land. They are nobody. They are just people that enter business through their illegal things and doing this and that. Nobody cares. But what I'm saying is, this is open to the world now today that the Igbo areas are passing this man. They go to the man that they can. How can you tell me you said that and you know the man is so good to prison and they are negotiating with terrorists and now you will always being trying to be compared with the high achievements title. And you are telling the man, telling people that to work together to protect their one.
Imagine.
One place I'm talking about. What is that insult? Is that insult? You are telling them to work hard to make Nigeria one. So the only way of making Nigeria one is to promote terrorists, protect terrorists, and to guide them, give them at least put them in the army, and our own way of protect, making sure Nigeria is one to allow our own university to be buying every day by the military. Or I think the other thing is that you be there without any evidence. So that is not the way forward. So the only way forward is the disintegration of that concept. This is a total disintegration. Anybody that you said it before, any section that doesn't want to go away from the Nigerian state to remain and allow those that want to go.
Simple.
You don't want to block the road. You don't want to move. You don't want to move forward. You don't want to leave the road. Are you not a witch?
It's a witch now, a big witch.
Anybody that don't want to move from the way, you have to move, or you keep away from those that want to move and they move. And you cannot block the way I say nobody moves. They're a witch. That's the fact. Honestly, these people cannot be bewitching us. They don't want to progress. They don't want to eat better food. They don't want electricity. They don't want anything. But they don't want that incentive for people that want it. People that want it, they say no. There are people that are okay. Even billionaires, many Igbo billionaires can provide electricity in Nigeria. We can provide it to 4 hours electricity in my body. But they cannot give you a license. They cannot allow you to do that. Many people can provide it. Okay. They are not giving you electricity. They are collecting bills. They are collecting bills from you monthly without giving you electricity from January to December. Because they will collect bills. You are supplying yourself with electricity. You are buying fuel. You build house, you dig borehole, you know the construct, everything is on your head. What is the billion of government? And these people, this foolish like many Zoom people, we don't see that as any, they don't see it as anything wrong. I mean, we just be moving with 80%, we'll find people, they don't see it as anything evil. But when Igbo man talk, that talk alone is evil to them. How are you telling me that the 5 people are not terrorists but somebody who is speaking out is like the terrorist? Wow. How on earth? So, my people, the best thing is to see the way that everybody will go. Let that country divide. Let that country divide. When we can't be there and allow people to go outside the zoo, go to Mali, everywhere to bring food and eat and to occupy Nigeria. When we do things are being fired and the military is not doing anything. The military is not doing anything. They are not protecting anybody. They don't want you to protect yourself. They don't want to protect you. They don't want you to protect yourself. If you protect yourself, they call you terrorist in T group. If you say, let me not protect myself, they will even collude with the T group to fight you. Which country is that? Wow. How on earth? We need to try section. Thank you, my brother.
Thank you so much, my brother. You have spoken well. That is what we are saying. You have spoken very well. The message is very, very clear and direct. If you don't want to get out of the cage, it is up to you. You can remain there. Allow those who want to go to go. What we are asking for is self-determination. A peaceful democratic request is what we are making. It is not a call for war. We are not looking down on anybody. You are entitled to say, okay, I want to be in Nigeria. Remain there. Simple. Allow people who want to go. As simple as that. I don't know why it is difficult for them to understand. To go take treatment.
Oh my God. That's what we are confronting road. They are not using road. You see, where that money is not sensitive where? No place.
Thank you so much, my brother. These people, only God will save us from their hand. And I believe that very soon, with the President of the United States, all this, their madness will be over. So thank you all.
Anybody that is a government office holder, your children cannot be overseas studying. If you are a government office holder, you can't go abroad to take a medical help. No, you can't do that. You can't do that. In Europe or Asia, you can't do that. You can't try that. You taxpayer money to go and teach yourself overseas when you cannot pay the one to pay your content. You use your taxpayer money to take your children abroad to study. When your schools are in ruins.
Of course, in a sensible country, that is how people do. They protest against it and they make sure you don't try. But Nigeria is not a country. Nigeria is not a country, has never been a country, and will never be a country.
You can't even try it. You can't even try it. You can't even try it. You move your children to overseas as a minister of education, professional education. Your children is studying abroad.
Minister of Health, when you have headache, you go abroad. To go and take treatment. Minister of Works, in his region, there is no single road in his place. Up to his village, no single road. Minister of Science and Technology, he doesn't have anything to offer. You are talking of minister. The NEPA themselves, they use generator for their office. God have mercy. Yeah. Thank you so much, my brother. Thank you so much. I appreciate you for that wonderful contribution. Thank you for your contribution. And I'm going to be rounding up the program. Coach Hughes, are you there? Coach Hughes, if you are there, give us your closing remark. I'm rounding up. It's more than 3 hours now. Almost 24 hours. Let me close the program. Hopefully, maybe later in the evening, I'm going to come back. Coach Hughes, are you there? Coach Hughes, if you are still there, give us your closing remark. If you're not there, I'm going to be rounding up the program. So I appreciate everyone that have participated in this program today. I appreciate everybody, wherever you are watching from. Those who are watching from TikTok, on Facebook, or YouTube, wherever you are watching our program, I appreciate every one of you. I thank you all for being part of the program. If you are a lover of freedom and you care about humanity, you are welcome. We are here for you. Our message is not just for the Biafran people, or we are not preaching what we are preaching out of hatred or out of anger or what. No. We are saying what we are saying because it is the right thing to say. All we are asking is live and let's live. We want everybody to have a normal life. That's what we're asking for. Allow us to grow in our own space at our own speed. We are not holding anybody. You are entitled to remain in Nigeria if you want to be in Nigeria. But those who want to step out of it, please, we don't want to sink with your ship. Go with your ship to any length you want. We are already out of that ship, and there's nothing you can do to hold us back. So I say, may Chukwu Okike Abiyama guide and protect every one of us that participated in this message. May Chukwu Okike guide and protect us. We pray for Mazen Nnamdi Kanu, wherever he may be, that Chukwu Okike Abiyama will continue to protect Mazen Nnamdi Kanu. secure him, give him strength, give him life, give him revelations. Let him continue to fight on until we get our freedom. We also pray for Mazi Simon Ekpa, the Prime Minister, wherever he is. He's coming to court on the 5th of August. 5th of August is going to be in court in Finland for his appeal, and he encouraged Biafrans to join him in Finland. Wherever you are, mostly people who are in Europe, if you can make it to Finland on the 5th of August, try to be there in solidarity with Mazi Simon Ekpa. You can take your ticket now so that it will be cheaper for you. You'll be there in Finland. The address of the court and the places are there online. You can find it, or you can reach out. We'll give you the addresses on how to go about it. Thank you so much. I appreciate everyone, and I'm going to see you again later on in the evening. Thank you so much, and stay blessed. See you all next time.
The very oldest language on the face of this earth. Chico the Cabia Mapuni, Chineke, and son of the winner is Salamina in a cosa house of Yanina Jam. Anana gave us on her name, and then saw no one Because you will make a difference with your source and we're not going to
But you know what? They would like you to believe that someone is the cause of it. No. I am the solution, and the only way they can get to you is by kicking me out, which is not. I have come. Look what you do. After I am done with Nigeria, Biafra will be free and enjoy freedom. Biafra will know the importance of freedom. What happened in 5 years to come. Thank you.